All right. Hey, what's up?
Is there a manager? Manager? Someone then who's in charge. You? The guy in the front is a fucking asshole who's working at your front. You're a host.
Well, I just started at 8 o'clock. I changed my hours.
Hi, your host is an asshole. I'm walking past. He's calling me a man and a sir for no reason.
The guy in the front, your host.
I'm fucking
The younger one.
No
The
one
younger
was
one.
talking to the guy. I'm walking down the street.
He's sir.
No, he's an asshole.
Just walking by.
Triple down on it. As I correct him, you're a man. Why the fuck is he even talking to me? It's not your fault. I'm just pissed.
It's principle of the thing.
He's an ass screaming at me on the street.
Thank you.
He can't do that.
He said he could do whatever he wanted to, by the way.
No, he can't.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, thousands of people just watched that on my phone.
So sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I'm fucking pissed. This is the restaurant. Him, right there.
Say sorry, guys.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're an asshole.
Toast.
Fuck you. Fuck off. You. Fuck off. Fuck you. What's the name of the restaurant, please? Perfect. Great. Fucking ass.
No,
Fuck you.
Both of you fucking
You
suck.
could have said something too. You could have said something.
I slept all right.
You. Fuck off.
It doesn't fucking matter.
You could have stood up for me. You could have stood up for me.
Doesn't matter.
Learn from
I could have, but I
Learn
didn't
from it. Learn
because
from
I don't
it.
care.
He's a fucking
People like me die every single day. People like me die every day because of people like you and him. So
Nobody's killing
Yes,
trans
you.
people.
You could have stopped him and said something. You should have said something to him. You could have said something and helped me.
I'm good.
Who are you? Do you work here? Okay, cool. You want to tell him?
This host who just got brought in, by the way, he's a fucking asshole. Went out of his way to misgender her 3 times.
He said, "Excuse me, sir."
Sir, just walking by. No.
Excuse me, sir. Nobody cares about your pronouns.
It's fucking
I wasn't eating here. I'm coming down the sidewalk. He did it to me, an asshole, and you stood there and said nothing. You allowed it and giggled. I didn't giggle, dude.
Yeah, I did giggle. It was fucking funny.
So guess what? He's a fucking dickbag, and he shouldn't even have a.
What's the name of your restaurant? What's the name of your restaurant? What is the name of your restaurant? What's the name of your restaurant?
You're not a woman. You're not a woman. You're not a woman.
And say, well, he works here. So they're transphobic. Your host is attacking someone from a specific minority community. I'm a trans woman. You don't care, clearly. Now I see why you hire the workers you do. The only nice person here, him, he understood me, and that's one, right? Well, clearly you're not running your business properly. Fuck off. Fuck off. You do nothing. You're not even apologizing. You don't.
I'm not apologizing. Of course I'm not apologizing. I did nothing wrong.
You have no remorse. Osteria Barocca. You don't own the street, sweetheart.
Yes, they did call you a sir. It's clear to all of us what you are, and of course.
And you're not a woman, sweetheart.
Because you definitely didn't want to cause any trouble, and you definitely knew what was going to happen. That you decided to take your camera out to record this. These men will go around trying to cause all sorts of confrontation. Then when they receive that confrontation, all of a sudden they're the victim. And it seems to be a common trend with you and a common theme with you, where you go to restaurants or you go to establishments trying to start something, and then you get confused when they call you what you are. And another clip shows this.
You don't? Do I look like a boy or a girl?
Me.
I think you're a boy. No, I'm a girl.
Okay.
Okay. I think you're a boy. Sorry. No. You're just ugly. Okay.
Here, you could actually have my pizza. Do you like those? Yeah. He's so mean I'm not eating his pizza, so you should have it.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck him. You enjoy your pizza.
Thank you.
Bye. Look at him, he's so mean. Do I look like a boy or girl? He's telling me I'm a man. Come on. It doesn't take rocket science.
I'm a man.
He thinks it's funny.
It is
Right? It
funny.
doesn't take rocket science to figure it out. No. Thank you. Enjoy your pizza. Bye. Bye. I'm just telling you, you have to be more respectful.
Yeah, you are dumb.
You're not embarrassed to be ignorant and rude.
2 days.
I am not good English.
I don't buy that for a minute. I think you speak English just fine, my love. Because you understood every other sentence we had.
Great.
Okay, bye. Educate yourself.
You know, want a pizza?
What?
You know,
I would never eat your pizza. In a million years, you're so rude. How are you gonna tell me I'm a man in a purse and long hair and nails? You can't figure that out for yourself?
You have a dick
Fucking asking.
and a 5 hour shadow.
Pronouns are. Take a fucking guess. Take a guess. Well, what were the pronouns of the guy in the pizza shop?
And this is how they make jokes of women, and it's sad to see that a majority of women are the ones who support this movement, namely being the feminists, which is really sad. But he believes that if you have, you know, your nails done, that clearly shows that you're a woman. Buddy, you look like you're 6'5" with a deep voice. I can tell you right now, whether you have your makeup on and whether you have nails done, it's not going to show that you're a woman. We can clearly see you're not.
AR-15s are not necessary. Yeah.
They're not.
No.
Why?
Why do you need to have a machine gun?
What is a machine gun?
Something that disperses bullets at massive rates and lots of them. A little,
Can you be more specific?
no.
How does an AR-15 work?
All I know is that they are much more powerful than the normal, and they can shoot a lot of.
They shoot at the same rate as a handgun.
That's
Semi-automatic. Yep. A machine gun, you hold it down, and the whole feed the magazine is empty with one pull of the trigger. Semi-automatics, which are AR-15s and handguns, one bullet comes out of everything.
have AR-15s.
Yes, I have one.
Oh, good for you.
It's very ironic. I tell you all these death threats I've gotten, you completely skip over them, and you're more worried about me defending myself. Why is it worse to defend myself than people threatening me?
People threaten you because you threaten people's lives.
When have I done that?
By just advocating for gun control, by being
When have I threatened? When have I threatened people's lives?
by being pro-gun, you are in essence threatening people's lives.
Do you have the right to defend yourself? Up to 3 million lives are saved every year due to defensive use of firearms. Why are you harming people's lives by wanting to restrict that?
Give me a second. I want to look up a statistic.
I have the statistics. I know what I'm talking about. I know the facts. They don't. They come out here and want to push their propaganda thinking I don't know what I'm talking about. Here's an example. All right, I'll let you look that up. Come find me because I'm not waiting for you. You don't know what you're talking about.
This is your average protester. They don't know what they're talking about.
We're not talking about radical ideology. You've got a problem with somebody, you've got a problem with anyone who wants to call themselves they, them. Why do you care what somebody else wants to call themselves? Right, no, that's language.
Yeah, and I don't want my
That's
language being coerced by other people.
Then you call yourself people. But language changes over years. Like language, please stop being so condescending if you don't mind. Condescending, you're a little bit.
What we've had over the last 20 years is an attempt to force other people to change their language in response to an ideology that is not based on science. Language changes, there we go.
Language does change, Matt. It does change over the years, and I don't see what the big deal is. If somebody else wants to be called they, them, why that's such a problem to you? In some sentences, we do use they, them. Like they're outside. That's a single person.
They can do whatever in the blue hell they want to do. You can't force me to follow along with their make-believe la la land made-up fairy tale nonsense. Just the same way you can't force me to advocate Superman when they're actually not Superman. Similarly, you can't make me believe that this make-believe made-up fairy tale la la land nonsense for adults is also real.
How can you call him lazy? How can you call him lazy?
It's just that I told him
Well, her definition of lazy is I come home from 2 jobs and still be able to cook, clean, maybe change some diapers, maybe do this.
You have to decide. Are you stay-at-home mothering, doing the mothering, and is he working to take care of you?
saying that, but
Is
that's
he
not
squared it up?
That's not it.
What? That's not it. He made all the pizzas and you ate them all.
So pretty much,
I already told him. I was like, look, I do want to take care of the house. I do want to take care of the kids. I want to cook for you. But every time I cook, he's like, oh, we already ate this. Or like, oh, this is the same thing. I'm like, dude, this is what we got. Like, this is it. Like, he wants hamburgers. He wants pizza.
Hamburger? Well, okay, you name like the two most basic foods. What? I wasn't asking for like beef Wellington. Hamburger? Oh no! What? What's
well,
the
he like my rice and chicken. I made rice
Are
and
you sure?
chicken.
Well, you're white. No shit. He needs flavor. He needs seasoning.
Slap your mama.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's a
Slap
seasoning.
your mama's a seasoning.
It's a seasoning.
Yeah, put slap your mama on, right?
Yeah. But
do that.
I did. He just
more.
Okay.
He needs a lot.
I was expecting some sort of rich food, but she said she struggles to make burgers and pizza. All you have to do is take it out the freezer, put it in an oven, and wait for it. You literally don't have to do anything further. You might have to chop up some tomatoes and get some salad, and that will take you 5 minutes, if that, to do it all. That's what you were talking about. I was expecting something else, and even at that, it's the case that you're staying at home. Yeah, it still shouldn't be that hard for you to do, but you're complaining about making burgers and pizza. Yeah, we're cooked.
The absolute fear every single one of us actually has every day. Oh my God, what if we become England? Oh my God, we need to do something big. What if we become England? Donald Trump posted it today. Prime Minister Queen Stalin of the United States.
Oh, God damn it.
I agree. He was a really bad pick.
Fucking running gun doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Hilarious cope. There's no time for recovery. And I think Trump knows that. I think he's just saying that to make believe he's like friendly with him. Yeah, it's not working, man. And I'm going to show you queer Stalin's freak out in the British Parliament in a minute. But first I have to make you understand exactly how bad it is. Everything I'm about to show you is stuff that happened in the last 24 hours. So this is Portugal.
Wait, why are you coming up on me? What's going on? What's going on?
Tyler Oliveira in Portugal. As you can see, these are Portuguese people, right? Portuguese people from India.
What are you doing there?
What are you doing? Tyler.
Don't try to show me from you. Don't try to be smart.
I'm not trying to be smart. You're trying to be smart.
But don't touch.
All right, then get away from me then.
But then
What's
put
the
this on.
problem?
Put this on.
No, I'm not
Put
going.
this on. You are going.
No, I'm not
You
going.
are going.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
yes, yes.
Get away from me. Get away from me. All right, he's already calling the shots here. Says I'm going to start. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
No, I'm not
What is your
going
problem?
to. You're not
Who
going
are
to
you?
here.
Who are you?
Sorry?
Who are you?
I am already in the authority.
I don't care. Who are you?
No,
Where are you
don't
from?
who- I
Where
don't
are you
care.
from? Get back up.
Oh.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
Don't touch.
Don't touch me. You are ventured to my country, Portugal, and we will take over. We will stop you from doing it. Sir, put down the camera, sir.
What the fuck? You get the fuck away from me. How about that? You don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Touch you.
You are all up in my face. Get away from me. Get the fuck away from me.
What the fuck you are talking? You don't know how to speak when you're on the
You need to move away from me. Move the fuck away.
You just get away from here.
Get away from me. What are you doing? I'm talking to you. What is the problem? Get away from me. Get away. What is the problem? I'm talking to people. He's coming at me all on my chest. I'm moving him away.
Bro's getting chased. Bro's getting attacked. This is wild. These are the native Portuguese people standing up for their country or something. Anyway, this is just the modern lefto. So a lot of you might remember this cool controversy. Sabrina Carpenter heard the like, whoa, is that your culture? I don't like it, right? So now BBC reporters are out here doing their absolute best to stand up for what they believe in. The fact that retard cultures are taking over your countries.
That sound that you heard just then is what an audience member at Sabrina's Coachella set made over the weekend.
We'll watch this later. I don't even have patience right now. I'm gonna save it for when we're gonna make fun of women later. All right, don't worry. Oh my god, this is why my channel was not demonetized, by the way. I am a wholesome man. I am obviously making fun of all genders equally. All right, so this is Ireland. All right, so in Ireland, this is a Muslim coming to Ireland to explain why we need Sharia law, because it's not like Ireland is a Christian nation.
Please don't forget that Ireland is not necessarily a Catholic country. Ireland is a secular country, and Catholicism has a huge influence. But Ireland, like Catholicism, even it's a foreign religion. It's not a religion that was invented or that was found here in Ireland. It was.
You do realize that Islam is the most colonial religion of all time. Like, what are we even doing here? What are we even talking about? Like, this is like every country is Islam. Every country is Islam. Jesus wasn't even crucified in Ireland. No.
Found in the Middle East. Like you guys, some of you are like against, the Middle East, and like against Arabs, or you're like against Islam, or you're like against immigrants. Like, the guy who we all celebrate as the great patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick. St. Patrick was not even Irish. Like, he was Welsh, or he was from, that part.
Yeah, your culture sucks and it's fake and gay. Anyway, become Islam. become Islamic. Anyway, I want to introduce you to this individual. He's a famous Irishman right now. His name is Abdullah Khan. Very Irish name. Irish-born Pakistani, proud jihadist. He torched Conor McGregor's black Forge Inn with gasoline 4 days later. He charged 2 cops on scaffolding, stabbed one of them in the arm, screaming Allahu Akbar, and tried to stab the other. The stabbed cop needed surgery, stitches, nerve surgery, and will carry scars and trauma for life. Khan then told police a very nice thing. It was a message to Ireland. Stop allowing insults to Muhammad. Right, how dare you insult Muhammad in Ireland? He said, when it comes to the prophets, we don't see it as a matter of freedom of speech. Well, that's nice. You should go back to Pakistan, sir. Today, in April 20th, 2026, so this was yesterday, sentencing was adjourned to July 13th for the taxpayer-funded report on the radicalization and post-release supervision. He already pleaded guilty to 8 charges, including 2 terrorist offenses. However, the jihadist confesses holy war on Irish soil to court delays and preparing.
Yeah, give me a sec. Let me get to the end of this run here.
Getting conquered. But don't worry, Ireland is fighting back. All right, this is the Irish farmers fighting back against the retard government. And it's crazy watching it. They're just blocking off roads. They out there protesting. Yo, please stop raping our country. Hopefully it works. Yeah. So this is Tokyo, Japan, because it's everywhere. Far-right radicals in Japan. They don't want their country to become a shithole, crazy.
God damn, every fucking spot except the one I wanted.
Yeah, this looks like Japan to me. Anyway, nothing to see here. Furious patriots are storming the streets of Epsom, UK, clashing with police in front of the alleged migrant housing following a devastating rape in the town.
Here they come. Oh, they've dragged him off the doorstep. Whoa! He's going to cause a riot.
All right.
Provocation. It's provocation. Don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it.
Wow.
Oh, you got a license for that?
Imagine being British, all right? You're allowed to get raped. That's not a problem. You're not allowed to protest rape. And you're also constantly getting egged on by the police to try to make you violent so that they could say, look at the far-right violence, and squash you down and arrest all of you. And now you'll be felons and you will not be eligible to vote in the next election. It's like, imagine needing to deal with getting raped on one side and literally having zero outlet on the other side, or that just means they're going to dick you over and your country too. But it's crazy watching this happen, right? Chaos in Netherlands as 110 unvetted migrant men were dumped there without notice. No notice. We're just putting 110 migrants here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here, just the people rising up against their governments, trying to steal your countries. All right, here's a good one. So this is a migrant crashed a car, and the woman tries to help him after he crashes his car. So guess what the migrant does?
This is the moment a driver can be seen swerving through traffic and crashing into railings before
Migrant, by the way.
killing the person who rushed to his aid.
Isn't that nice?
After being arrested, 24-year-old Chukwemeka Ahanonu...
Can you say his name one more time? British? I like British names.
24-year-old Chukwemeka Ahanonu...
Can you say Chukwemeka Ahanonu's name one more time? Because it's a nice ethnically British name that I like to hear.
24-year-old Chukwemeka Ahanonu...
Yeah. Yeah.
Laughed about the incident during his police interview.
And you run.
I had a car accident that almost killed a whole lot of people, and then a woman tried to save me, and I murdered her. I'm that classic tricking me at Kanomo, you know what I'm saying? Classic Chukwuema Ahano, every single, I can't believe it. Yeah. So, again, this is what's happening in the countries you're importing these people from. So, a British couple honeymooned in Doha, Qatar. The wife was harassed at the Ritz-Carlton pool by two men who told her she'd fall in love after he slept with her. The hotel gaslit her. Management denied the CCTV backed her story, all right, despite that her own WhatsApp messages said the opposite. Her husband posted a TripAdvisor review calling the hotel unsafe for women. The hotel got it pulled. A hotel employee filed a defamation complaint against him under Qatar cybercrime laws. Nearly a year later, he returned to Qatar for work. He was detained, informed he'd been tried in absentia and fined, and then held for 4 nights in a deportation center. Order lasts 5 years, which severely hurt his career as a Middle East healthcare consultant. In other words, Marriott International, an American company, used a Qatari law to silence a complaint about a woman being sexually harassed at their property. Isn't that incredible? My wife was threatened with rape in Qatar. I was the one thrown in jail. Oh my God. And then they're going to come and scream about, you know, free speech in your countries and how actually America is bad, right? So this Islam influencer, Valerie, she was blocked from entering the UK for far-right rally. Far-right rally means there was this guy, Tommy Robinson, he's doing a rally basically saying, hey, we need to elect a right-wing government instead of these left-boy dipshits that are importing infinite rapists into our countries. And he invited Valentina Gomez. She is an influencer in the United States that's anti-Islam, all right? And she was banned from entering the United Kingdom. Pretty interesting. Anyway, breaking. Shabana Mahmood has banned Valentina Gomez, an ally of Tommy Robinson, from her UK over extremist views. We are having people named Shabana Mahmood ban people from the United Kingdom now. And if that's not enough, get a load of this one, all right? Ayub Khan, a member of parliament in England, says 6 million British Muslims we can't allow those who fight the unity. The Home Office and Shabana Mahmood must act decisively with moral consistency. Ban this malign provocateur. And she responds, try harder. All you have to do is all you people do is blow yourselves up, marry your cousins, gang rape little girls out of innocence, and not even the goats are safe. Oh my God, dude. There's no such thing as British Muslims. Oh my God. Oh my lord. Anyway, so this is what Ayub Khan, member of parliament, had to say in response.
Very interesting turn of events. I've just learned that Valentina Gomez has been barred from entering the United Kingdom. I had been preparing to raise concerns with the Met Police, and if necessary, pursue a private prosecution in relation to her online content.
He wanted to sue an American for her online content. Are we serious right now?
But it seems the situation may have resolved itself. The decision to bar Gomez reflects a broader principle. Public platforms and spaces come with responsibilities. When conduct risks undermining public order or safety, it's simply not conducive to the wider community.
She was a public safety threat because she makes content that you don't like online. All right? But these people are importing infinite rapists from third world countries, and there's no issue. So Valentina Gomez actually had a pretty insane response to this. You know, I'll be real. I was surprised. I was surprised to hear this response, but damn, she was cooking. I just got put this bitch in her kitchen. She knows how to cook.
Banned from England by a dirty Pakistani Muslim. Because I'm not coming to rape and kill little girls.
Ah, fucking damn it.
Plan A is for airplane, and since that's no longer an option, we're going to plan B. And plan B is for ghosts. So I'm going to do exactly what the rapist pedophile Muslims do. I'm going to hop on a boat, get free luxury accommodation, deliver my beautiful speech, I guarantee you that the White House will get involved.
Holy shit!
Because I'm not just coming with Jesus Christ. I'm coming with current and former soldiers of the United States military.
God damn! This is actually testing the British policy so freaking well. I'm not even like a fan of Valentina Gomez per se. I don't know her or anything. But this is brutal.
And if they really want to deny my entry, well, he's gonna have to stop the boats. Don't forget, England belongs to the English. See you on May 16th.
God damn. So this is hilarious because England, you know, lets in migrants every single day that come on boats. Every day there are illegal aliens that come to the English shores on their little fucking boats, and instead of getting turned away like they should be, they're getting their boats shot down in the middle of the water like they should be. Oh no, they think they're killed. Yeah. Yeah, don't invade the country next time, you fucking bitch. Alright, sorry. So, anyway, England just opens the borders and literally pays for their hotel stays. They pay for the hotels of illegal aliens that come into their countries on little fucking boats. Little dinky boats. They get full-ass, paid government stay. It's honestly unbelievable. It's actually unfathomable shit, I'm not gonna lie. So she is testing that. You will let in an unvetted Pakistani rapist on this little boat. No problem. But are you going to stop me and a bunch of British soldiers doing the exact same thing? Coming in illegally on a little boat? This is honestly testing the policy so fucking well. And a lot of people are like, oh no, but what if she makes an international incident? Oh no. What if she does? Guess we'll have to Maduro queer Stalin after all this. That's crazy. Speaking of, this is queer Stalin getting laughed at in Parliament right now, or yesterday rather, because he's talking about, you know, the Trump tweet saying that your ambassador was a disgrace. He admits it, and then everyone laughs at him.
I know many members across the House will find these facts to be incredible.
Actually historic. Everyone just laughing at him. Oh my god. Yes, it is incredible stuff. Anyway, so Rupert Lowe had this to say. Bastardizing British history to tell an inclusive national story and insert historically illiterate diversity must end.
But what is an inclusive national story?
I don't think it's... I can
create an inclusive national story, which is history.
Right? You'd think that if you tell a story about history, you tell the story about history. Right? Like I'll just be real here. You don't make up characters to try to pad out historical stories to fit your unless, of course, you don't care about reality, which is the leftist position these days.
I don't think, and probably I'm going to solve it right now. What I'm saying to you is they have their clear outcomes, and then on this area, we're doing further work.
I would be careful not to damage a model which, as you said earlier, is successful. But what is...
Yeah, and we're witnessing the fact that they're just kind of admitting this stuff. Alright? Like they're actually just openly saying it. It's racist to talk about how Northumberland vanquished the Viking invaders without mentioning the fact that the king at the time was gay and that all of his generals were black and that the Muslims contributed greatly to our battle. You know, I really don't like the idea that the apostles of Jesus Christ are depicted as Muslims and Chinese people. So we're just going to change a bit of history if that doesn't bother you. Anyway, people are noticing the fact that importing infinite third world retards does not actually help your country at all. This is Benny Johnson interviewing Brandon Gill. He is a congressman, I'm pretty sure, and he's literally dropping nukes, and he's just right about it. And everyone needs to wake up to this fact.
Our culture, I believe, in many ways is superior to other cultures across the world.
It is. Yeah. Acknowledging that our culture is superior, I think is step one. I would never vote for someone that thinks that our culture is not superior to any other cultures.
We've got to recognize...
Oh no, it's racist to say that our culture is better! Yeah, I would not vote for anyone that's not at least a little bit racist.
Guys, that not all cultures are equal.
True.
They're not all equally compatible with America's governing framework.
True.
They're not all equally moral.
True.
They don't all have...
There's sex slaves in Islamic countries right now. Am I supposed to say that we should import these people so that our culture can be improved by that? Our culture will not be improved if we import people from a culture where they're raping donkeys and children.
Equal dignity. And we ought to recognize that bringing in third world countries where some lunatic is grilling a cat in an American park where children...
This just happened, by the way, where they caught a migrant that caught a cat and grilled it in public in a park. Grilled it and ate it. Oh my god, it's like, yeah, all cultures are the same. No, they're not. Not all cultures are the same.
they're playing around with is a culture that is incompatible with our own.
Speaking of incompatibility, sometimes it's important to compare just broad numbers. The average IQ in Haiti is 68. The average IQ, 68 and 67, depending on the numbers. I have Grok pulled up here. Between 67 and 68. Average IQ in America is like 105. How is that supposed to be compatible? Like, how is that supposed to work?
Same thing. Like, again, this is not supposed to offend anybody. These are objective facts, all right? Now, for those of you unaware, 67 is really bad. It's a really bad IQ. Of course, I'm not saying that these people aren't created in the image of God, and I wish them well, and I hope their culture manages to evolve and develop. I hope that they stop inbreeding and raping their cousins and children. I think that would make their culture a lot better. I hope they embrace God and reject their false prophet. Absolutely. But objectively, in reality right now, 67 IQ is like, I will crack your skull open because maybe you have gold nuggets in your skull that I could take. And if not, well, I'll just eat your testicles and make a little sacrifice so that we can have a rain season and beautiful, bountiful harvest this year. That's not compatible. It's really just not.
The thing with Somalia, by the way, like the average IQ in Somalia is hovers around 70, and that's the threshold for mentally handicapped, according to most psychological theses here in this country. So, like, how are you supposed to square that conversation?
Well, that's the problem, and perhaps there's a link between this and between the welfare usages that you see from migrants in many countries.
Well, obviously, stupid people can't survive in a smart person country.
Really interacted with what we would
well, they can't survive in their own country. Oh my God.
American economy have a very hard time staying afloat, and the result is that
it would literally be cheaper to upgrade their country than it would be to let them live in ours.
That are a detriment to our culture. This is the correct.
Yeah, that's the wasteland. That's a storm going on in the wasteland.
All these countries around us just collapse.
That's the wasteland over there.
Reality, because they're too worried about racism. And again, I think this is an offshoot of like the really feminized way conversations are being held, where really your feelings are just more important than the facts.
I'd go into the storm, but it would.
You're like, well, you know, statistically,
I would die before I got to this.
I know a really tall woman. All right, dude. Hypothetically.
Oh, I've seen it a few times.
Would you be hungry?
I like the.
It's like, these people do not want to even engage with reality.
The winter one looks really cool. For the snow area, that storm looks really cool.
I think just to use one example is how does importing these populations, given the statistics which you just cited, impact American education? Whenever these are the people who are going to schools with our children, who have to be taught alongside our children, by any measure, I mean, common sense would tell you that this would decrease the quality of education for American children. And that's before we even start talking about people who are speaking foreign languages and having other kinds of cultural issues.
He's just objectively right. And the reality is, when we look at it, it's like, oh my God, literacy rate is going down. Yeah, we now have 1 million retards in our country with an IQ of 67. All right, yeah, obviously the average literacy rate is going down. And, you know, we're living in this, like, absolute dystopia where we have to just make believe everything's the same. You know, Zohran Mamdani wants to do a white tax on white people and Jewish people in New York because they're historically and, you know, literally wealthier neighborhoods than, you know, migrant neighborhoods or black neighborhoods. And because those neighborhoods are wealthier, and he's right, they are wealthier, for some reason now they have to get raped because we need to equalize the battlefield. Because obviously there's some sort of oppression going on, and obviously there's some sort of unfairness. All right? Now, this is the equality of outcomes perspective, and it is bullshit. All right? Equality of opportunity and equality of outcomes are not the same thing. White people, Jewish people, black people, they all have the same equality of opportunity. If they worked fucking hard, they'll make it, and they'll get somewhere. And if they don't work hard, you know, they'll probably end up, you know, not doing as well. Now, we have specific cultures
It'll
that
be a
incentivize
good morning
not
when you
working
buy
hard,
something
and, that
and
don't,
get the
that,
fuck
and we
out
have
of
some
here.
cultures that incentivize, yes, working hard. You look
Quit
at Asian
gawking.
immigrants, and
Either
these
buy
guys are
something or
statistically
piss
richer.
off.
Why is that? Well, their culture makes sure that their children don't become failures. They work them to the bone, and they end up becoming incredibly successful people. Now, I'm not telling you what the correct lifestyle you need to live is, but objectively, this is what we're dealing with. So the issue is it's twofold. On the one hand, they bring in these people that are not compatible with our culture, that are objectively more violent and rapier than our people that are here that did develop in our cultures. That's true. But then, because we now have these two tiers of society, you know, the successful people and then, you know, the rapier people.
Man, I treat
somehow
you
the
that
decision
good,
unfair.
and you don't
There's
even
feminist
fucking
dipshits
tip
saying,
me.
well, I'm noticing that these people are poorer than those people. So not only are we bringing in violent rapists into our country, but we also
That's
have to
because
rape
I'm
you
out here doing all
financially
these
to make sure that
quests for
everyone
your
has the same
fat
outcome
ass.
as well. I mean, look at the success
Don't
story
even leave
over
your
in England.
shop.
Isn't it great that they had industrialized rape of children over the last
Fucking
decade?
prick.
Man, I can't wait to import that here. It seems to be working wonders overseas. So yeah, I feel like I say this every time. I end up covering the England situation. But man, I'm really sorry for what you guys are going through, but thank you for being a case study as to why we need to absolutely obliterate these people and remove them from power by any means necessary. Legally speaking, of course, non-violently at all, but by any means speaking legally. By any legal means. That's what I'm talking about. No violence. I don't endorse it. I'm not calling for it. All right, you can ditch all the dipshits that are trying to get me canceled for saying that apparently I am putting people on a school shooter pipeline. All right, I'm not for that. I'm against all of it. Every leftist that cancels me, y'all could fucking just go out there and do your own shit.
I think it's on top. It is on top of a building. God damn it.
You support these days, castrating kids and murdering babies.
Dude, when I downloaded the city mod, I did not take into account that my airdrops would be landing on top of buildings.
Because if we don't, then they will take power. They will destroy
That is
us.
one thing I overlooked. God damn, and that's a big building too. That's a lot of floors I gotta go up. And you know it ain't gonna be easy.
I also think that there's a lot of
get into the
copium
cop
with this
car.
game. I do not think that its success is good enough to justify the theoretical amount of money that was spent on it and the other projects that this was meant to make up for.
A lot is going down right now for Ubisoft. I'll start with the obvious thing that you know, that Assassin's Creed Shadows has just...
Well, I got my RAM sticks too, so my game is running a lot smoother.
Here, and by the end of this video, we'll even be discussing the very real chance of Ubisoft quite literally splitting. That might sound crazy to you,
I
but
think that they're going to have to do it. I think they're going to have to split the company or do something crazy. Too
believe
many
me,
L's.
It's actually a well-substantiated thing that we're able to talk about.
Your D&D
Now,
analogy is perfect,
according
yeah.
to this shareholder letter, Assassin's Creed Shadows should save the company financially. But here's the thing.
See, this is what I was saying. It was like what I said. I'll repeat it. I apologize. Just like the third day I've used this analogy, so if you've heard it before, I'm sorry. You ever play Dungeons & Dragons, and you need to roll a 19 or a 20 in order to just hit a monster? I think that that's what Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed Shadows. They needed to roll a 19 or a 20, and they rolled an 11 or a 12. Rolling an 11 or 12 is better than average, and, you know, technically, you did get lucky. But it wasn't enough.
That is not some boastful letter sent to the shareholders from Ubisoft. Oh no, it is
It's
an
good, but not enough.
eviscerating letter
Yeah.
sent from shareholders to Ubisoft, and they are not happy. It's alleging secret talks, it announces a protest, it threatens...
Yeah, investors are prepared to sue the company for misleading investors. Holy shit. Jesus.
lawsuits.
That's bad.
And it all cuts through to a very personal angle.
Yeah.
The CEO and founder, Yves Guillemot, has been fending
There's the
off
guy.
hostile takeovers for a lot of his recent career, and it's happening to him again, because now he has got shareholders trying to take him out, and that gives anyone who could help him out
Switch to the pistol.
quite a lot.
I'm gonna make sure it's
We have-
loaded. There we go. That's a good
If
idea.
You're the CEO, and the graph looks
Oh,
like it
come on.
does, I think you gotta go. I do. Like, I mean, I feel like there has to be accountability for that.
I was
right?
just about to say I haven't run into any zombies yet.
80% value of the company, and then it's like, oh well, this is normal.
Huge story to cover today.
Oh, can I hit her from here?
Part of it is one of the things that they're trying to weaponize is in
And
fact-
also another issue
Apparently
is that
not.
the products simply were not selling well.
Oh.
It's not a matter of like the stock being overvalued or some sort
Hey,
of
I got her.
manipulation. The fact is that a lot of their recent games haven't been high quality games.
No, I didn't get any
I think
experience
that's
for
really
it.
important
Alright.
to keep in mind.
You
Yeah.
and me. Now here's something that's pretty wild. BT were hacked a few months ago, and that meant that user data, which may include my family, was stolen. And that's why I actually use today's sponsor, Incogni, because they are our way to fight back. That's because when data leaks, data brokers then harvest it and just sell it on. You don't
Do you
really
remember
know.
back in the 90s and the 2000s where it would have a guy hacking a computer and he'd be wearing a mask while he was doing it?
If you ever wonder how spam callers get your number and lots of strange things like that, well, it's
Those were the days, right?
this whole terrible system. It sucks.
Yeah.
Incogni solves the problem by automating the legal work that you otherwise have to do to get your data taken down. And if you drop incogni.com/BellNews, you get 60% off.
Didn't see him drop it.
And here's how it works. It's so easy. You enter your information, and that's basically it.
Wow.
Now, the way it actually works, you get the legal right. But doing that takes
Jesus.
hours.
Not in a good spot.
Brokers. It
Whoa, that's not a... God damn! What the hell's going on?
By the way, this is
Get up on the
so
table.
Annoying. Like this problem should not even exist.
Is actually kept down.
Oh, stay down, man.
For an example, you can see 150
I think that's a
requests,
better floor
142
there.
completed. I've not touched it since October, but since October, Incogni's removed me from 35 more brokers. That's peace of
Great.
mind. At incogni.com/BellNews, you get 60%
close
off
to the
annual
wall.
plan.
Stairs.
Today. To kick us off, here's the letter. It's from AJ Investments, who bought a minority share in Ubisoft last year. If you know what a activist
I gotta
investor
come
is,
back
well,
down
they're
when this
basically
is
one of
after I
those.
get
They
that box.
Jump into a company, they try to do some form of
Jesus
skullduggery
Christ,
to
those
yank
only
up
a
the
couple
share
more
price,
floors.
And then they yeet themselves away with a lovely payday. Now, when their letter says that Shadows can save the company financially, it's not wrong. The finances of Ubisoft do need saving, as do the Guillemos, whose position this letter seeks
I
to
don't like
undermine.
this.
So let me lay out the stakes for you so you understand the gravity of today's story. Ubisoft's post-pandemic release schedule just, well,
There's the elevator.
a cliff, right?
Every game they've released basically in the
tell me.
last
Oh,
5
cool.
years has been dog shit. Minus like maybe 2. That's really bad. Really bad.
And then when they did ship games, quite often they missed on quality and they undersold. Leakers actually report half a dozen cancelled games. Of course, please the market. Ubisoft launched into all of the fun trends, the NFTs, the AI, all of it. And of course,
Ubisoft recently actually made a new NFT game.
if
you can believe that.
And then the year 2024 happened. It was, as we all know, pretty much a shit show for the company. The
Yeah,
thing
it
that
was.
should have really brought in the sales, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was obviously delayed. They knew that Shadows needed to be.
And that elevator doesn't do anything.
Frontiers of Pandora didn't really do that well. And while
So
Prince of
janitor's
Persia
room.
was
Got anything cool in the locker?
Stupid fucking game. Why do you even think it'd make
Some
an avatar
potato
game? Like,
seeds.
Who the fuck thought this was a good
Dude
idea?
was
Who wanted to
keeping
play this? Who
potato
wanted to play
seeds
this
in his
fucking bullshit?
locker.
Like, what's this fairy shit? What the fuck are you doing with this fairy?
All
ass
right.
bullshit? What? Why? Who asked? Who wanted this? Nobody asked. Nobody wanted this. What are you thinking?
of Persia,
What
Lost
are you
Valley is a
thinking?
really good video game. It was just too niche and it basically did not move
It was
the needle.
overpriced.
While all this is
Bathroom.
going on, we've got the investors
I don't need a
rebelling,
bathroom.
demanding the
Yeah.
removal of the
I need to
founding
find a way
Gilmore
up.
family. But of course, unfortunately for
There's
those
like 2 more
investors,
floors.
the Gilmos had spent the last decade making their position, their
Telemarketing
control
lab.
over the company
Whoa.
almost unimpeachable
That's a
for
lot.
a deal with Tencent. And so, Shadows was delayed.
Yep.
And now we're at the time
This
where
is how I
it is
came
about to
in.
come out. And now it basically
And I
means
think this
if
game got delayed like 2 or 3 times too. It wasn't even just once.
flops, it's proof that Ubisoft does need to be gutted and that
Yeah.
leadership, say the Gilmos, really are the problem, at least to the investors. If the game succeeds, in a way it's almost like a lot of decisions a lot sooner. Basically, for AJ Investments, with the letter, no matter what happens to letters, they'll get to basically say, yeah, we told you so. Now, don't be confused here.
Okay.
You're fucking kidding me.
This is not a good graph. It's not. This is a bad graph. This is a very, very, very bad graph. Just because you release one game that does well, As I said, you needed to roll a 19. You rolled an 11. Great. Amazing. Awesome. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't counterbalance everything else.
There's got to be something out here
Yeah, I
to
guess
help
so.
me.
EJ Investments are not out to make a better game for you. They are parroting very obvious
that was
criticisms of
nerve-wracking.
Ubisoft, many of which I'd say we could probably agree with.
Sure.
But as an example, they're also pissed off over the delay to Shadows. I think we all know that that delay was a good thing, and as you'll soon find out in this video, they're trying to rile everybody up to generate headlines to put more pressure on the Guillermos, which will, of course, make their position far stronger.
Professional complainers.
given They're trying to do the whole rebelling thing.
Absolutely.
We'll get into that, but for now, let's examine the spiciest claims of their letter. Ubisoft have been secretly meeting Microsoft, Electronic Arts,
I'm going to cheat it.
more. That is the
It's
claim
going to take a little while, but
shareholder letter, and it's far from the only bit of pressure that AJ Investments are seeking to mount up here. They actually plan a protest.
So they're playing Assassin's Creed IRL with the company?
They plan a lawsuit against Ubisoft's management as well.
That's a lot.
Have wrongfully withheld information and hurt shareholders. Now, sparking this was the Assassin's Creed Shadow dual delay, and then the financial forecast changes caused by that. Suffice to say, yeah, revenue projections went down.
Massively.
But then it gets a bit juicy because they say that this depressed stock price would allow the big players to buy up Ubisoft on the cheap. Now, of course, if those were big players who were...
That's true. But, that's what happens whenever the game does badly. I mean, I think that's normal. They were doing research? Yeah, that's totally normal.
With Ubisoft management, that would be great. It would be fulfilling management's personal goals at the expense of the portfolios of smaller shareholders.
Yeah, sure.
Perhaps shareholders like AJ Investments. It's quite spicy. And per the letter, Ubisoft often hid things from their
Why are
investors.
you happy about this? I think the people are happy about this is because they view Ubisoft as a representative of everything that's wrong with video games nowadays. Slop, open world, checklist design, daily quests in a single-player game, pay to win in a single-player game, and it's also you have to deluxe editions that are over $100. Ubisoft is definitely if you can think of the Exodia, right, of bad video game companies, you have the head, sexual harassment allegations, the arm, the right arm, you have microtransactions, the left arm, you have...
All right, come on, buddy. You got to make a decision
the
here.
left leg, you have... Oh, geez. Let's see. Open world time-wasting mechanisms. And the right leg, you've got fucking I don't know, did I say microtransactions? I can think of 5 other ones too, but, a million NFTs, shitty combat, shops. Yes, by our powers combined, Captain Planet, exactly, yes. So why people don't like this game, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, why they don't like the company, it makes a lot of sense. And it's also, yeah, you have your own shitty launcher. So people will celebrate the failures of something that represents what they think is
Damn it!
That's it. That's the main reason why they're happy. Is it something that they don't like taking an L? That's understandable.
Saudi Games, if you're not aware, are Saudi Arabia's state-funded gaming company. They make a lot of investments.
Here's what I think. I think that they're going to these investors because they're fucking desperate. I think they know they're cooked. And so, yes, you're going to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Tencent, because you need somebody to bail you out because you know that you're fucked. That's the real reason.
So apparently there's a deal with them to make DLC for Assassin's Creed Mirage, but I think a lot more relevant to today, quote, discussions between Microsoft, Electronic
Holy
Arts,
shit, I don't
and
like that.
others that are interested in acquiring IPs from Ubisoft. And if true, that is a perfect example of investments.
Yeah.
This letter says that they will hold a protest in Paris this May, and that if things don't improve, they'll actually sue.
Wow.
And look, examine all of this. It's hard to not see a lot of it as just the final nail in the coffin for Ubisoft. They've had nothing but bad news. You know, even their own shareholders are turning against them. But it's not all of their shareholders. It's a group of them. A group that is led by AJ Investments.
That's a bathroom.
And it's not hard to
Just
see.
because you
There's gotta
have
be
some
stairs around here
investment
somewhere.
activist group complaining, that doesn't really fucking matter. What really matters is the quality of the games and how many people are buying them. That's the bottom line. That's the lifeblood of your business. And if that's not happening...
And besides that, I think some video games, when they get bad press, sell better.
Hey, Saudi Arabia,
Dude, when GTA hit the news and people were complaining, oh, you could commit crimes in the video game. Dude, sales exploded.
Please let us cash you out.
Everybody
We'll
plays
make
that
the new
game now.
Assassin's Creed. We can set it in, you know, like Middle Ages.
So,
and, like, you know,
activist groups
like
can work to
Arabia,
your advantage.
And the game is going to have a, you know, dark, edgy male protagonist, and it's going to sell 10 million fucking copies. Prince of Persia, yeah. Yeah, wow, where was that? Is that, oh, geez, I forgot. Yeah, so you just go right back to what you were doing, and you do it again. Yeah, that's the first game. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so of course they're going to be down for that. You're describing the first game? I know that. That's my whole point. Do it again. People buy Call of Duty every year. They'd buy this too.
Actually doing here. And that's really because they played their cards. It's bloody obvious. And, they're not the sort that we should trust, even if sometimes they'll say things that we agree with. Let me explain why. Reading AJ's letter, the one thing that will strike you is that it's dramatic, right? Ubisoft are keeping secrets. Shareholders are going to protest. Lawsuits are coming. That is all emotive, spicy stuff. And it is spicy. It's fun to talk about. But here's the thing with that. We've been watching this story since it began, and it began last year.
Yeah.
What this letter is, because if you only see a little fragment here or there, you won't have a full picture of the story. What this is just another play in a war game that has been going on for a while. The first letter actually came last year from AJ Investments.
I watched this whenever, I remember covering this when it happened.
This open letter blames Ubisoft management for everything wrong with the company. And in fairness, a hell of a lot of blame does rest with them. But why was this new open letter released to IGN first? That's no slight, of course, to IGN's news department.
All they're doing is they're trying to position themselves in a way that will pressure the company publicly and will change what they're doing and change their leadership so they can probably get more stock and control of the company. That's the reason why. It's obvious. Now, sometimes you can be doing that for a good reason, but that's exactly what's being done.
But the whole letter, I mean, it's a shareholder letter. It's corporate talk. Why are you giving that to the world's most read gaming site for gamers instead of
Alright, you already know this is going to be a tough spot.
That's the reason why. They just want they want an Asmongold React video, obviously.
I mean, if the intent is to actually get shareholders and investors to protest with them, it does seem kind of counterintuitive. You would not go to IGN if that was your goal. What you would go to IGN for is to get public eyeballs on the situation.
Yep.
Eyeballs that are, of course, part of gaming
Makes
brains
sense.
who really are pretty,
Sure.
Frustrated with Ubisoft. But not really people who will be thinking about who AJ Investments are. Who
Of
might
course.
think, oh, look at that, even the shareholders are turning against them. Damn, those shareholders are our bros. Oh,
Yep.
no. Look, the headlines, I mean, we just got to laugh at Ubisoft against the headlines trending. Here's the thing. Investment firms generally don't care too much about the detail of why gamers are mad. They just want to harness you and further their own game. And their game is...
I think that's fine, by the way. I don't need you to care about my feelings. Just make a good game, and that's it. We don't need to be best friends. We don't need to be in a relationship. We just need to, all I want is for them to make the game good. That's it. Just make good games. Use them and we use them and they use us. And this is a perfectly great relationship. Let's not rock the boat.
Fairly obvious.
That's right.
It's to put more and more pressure on Ubisoft. So if news sparked because of their open letter sent to IGN, which it absolutely has, then that does further their pressure on Ubisoft to capitulate to their demands. They don't actually need to do a protest or a lawsuit to accomplish that.
Yeah.
They just need to harness public relations against Ubisoft.
That's right.
Now, what about the meat of their letter? That Ubisoft has been meeting with companies.
That's a lot.
Secret and spooky stuff. Well, it is newsworthy, right? Yeah, okay, then talking to these companies like EA, that is newsworthy. But it's also exactly what Ubisoft promised they would do, which was to, again, quote Ubisoft's
Which
own
is
words.
smart. That's what they should
reveal,
be doing,
quote,
obviously, right? Yeah, of course. And to kind of cut through closures and possible sale options. And so far, we've seen layoffs. I think they might have to sell off some of their IPs or split the company or do something really big. Because I just can't see how you can have such a big company lose 80% of your value and then release kind of a mid-game or like slightly above mid-game, and then suddenly now everybody's supposed to be okay with it. I just don't see that happen, man. Yeah, I just don't. They have 13,000 employees. Well, the problem, and I think this is also another big issue is that they've tried to release too many games. It's like, stop doing that. You're making too many games. You can't release a new AAA game every single year and maintain a high level of quality. Says you? Yes, exactly, says me. Yes, yes, there's too many mid-games. It is better to focus entirely on making one really, really good game than make a bunch of different games, diminish the brand value, and then hope that one of them pops off through some sort of like viral, internet marketing campaign. It's just not what's going to happen. Yeah, it's like you can't just... If we sell one game and we get $10, we can sell 5 games and we get $50. And we sell 10 games and we get $100. Oh my God, let's make 20 games, we'll make $200. You can't do that. Like, you're going to hit market saturation at a certain point. And I think that they have, and it's also the amount of bandwidth that the leadership has. Because fundamentally, leadership is now being spread across so many different things. You can't do that. Like, it's not how things work.
Closures that
they're set up to
looking into
fail.
Possible sale options is, well, not really surprising because they literally said they would do that. And when you actually read Ubisoft's statement, they say that when there is a transaction, the market will be told. And you may then think, why would you be secret about that? Why would you not announce talks? Well,
Insider
if talks
trading.
fail or a deal falls through,
Yeah.
that can really hurt you as a company.
Exactly.
Just ask the Embracer Group.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about this before it's settled, because if they do, then you're going to have a lot of market speculation one way or another. And it could make the company look bad if it doesn't happen, or it could make the company look bad if it does happen. So they want to save that until it's actually a defined entity. I think that makes perfect sense.
Well, that went for them.
I haven't been wearing gloves this whole time?
Why would investors want
That's
Ubisoft
weird.
to talk? Specifically, these investors, AJ Investments.
Oh.
That's pretty obvious. Rumors of a deal will shoot the price up. This quite literally happened. For short-term investors, that is the business model, and you don't even need to take it from me. We can just read AJ's own website. Quote, AJ Investments take advantage of events and take steps that will help correct and optimize the running of companies. Basically, they capitalize on the problem. They force any solution that raises a short-term stock price and then make profit.
Yeah, of
They don't
course.
so much care about the long term when they say save the company. For example, they only started their position in Ubisoft a few weeks before they published their first open letter. Prior to that, they're actually long-term shareholders of Activision Blizzard.
It does seem like it's very obvious, advantageous. Like, I mean, they're not necessarily good actors, but at the same time, you can agree with people that are bad actors, but you can still acknowledge, yeah, they are bad actors too.
I'm gonna get caught downtown. I'm gonna get caught downtown at night.
Because of that pressure. And now the stock price is somewhat rising up again. But not just because of this letter. In fact, it's because Ubisoft might actually be close to a deal. What if I told you we might actually have Ubisoft 2? I'm not shitting you.
I think that it's going to happen.
Shit. I don't have a
I do.
repair.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Can I modify
There's
this
too
with the
many
barrel
bells.
extender? Yes, I'm gonna put a barrel
The best
extender on
thing
it.
that Ubisoft could do is take half of the company. Okay, let me think about how this would work. So, what are the big Ubisoft IPs? Give me like the top 3 biggest Ubisoft IPs.
Oh shit.
Okay, Assassin's Creed. Okay. Sell Assassin's Creed, to either Saudi Arabia or to China, sell Prince of Persia to Saudi Arabia, sell Far Cry to probably also China, sell Splinter Cell to, I don't know, probably also China. Rainbow Six Siege, sell that to China. Okay, well, obviously go to China. I don't know, but it's the same type of vibe.
I shot him in the butt. A fatal butt shot.
Same thing. My point is that I think they can make a really good fucking version.
Those are always the worst.
That's it.
A new company created by Ubisoft that will include, quote, some of Ubisoft's IP, like Assassin's Creed.
That's a good helmet. I'm gonna eat this.
Something that could actually exist.
Just so I can take the helmet.
That's what they need to do.
Is according to Bloomberg's reporting.
That could get scrapped.
A lifeboat to save the company and maybe save management as well. Now, apparently, offers are being made to Tencent as well as various investment funds, and preliminary bidding is actually being sought this very month. Now, obviously, right, this is all stuff that's not settled yet.
Maybe
it
I
is
should
open
bid for
to
the
change,
company.
but it does, in fact, align with Bloomberg's previous reporting.
Yeah.
Bloomberg, back in January, claimed that Tencent and Ubisoft were in talks to establish, quote, a new venture where the Gilmos would be backed
How is
by
that locked?
Tencent. Of course, the Gilmos are already backed by Tencent. A whole bunch of the Gilmos' control over Ubisoft is actually by a company that's called, like, I think it's Gilmo Brothers Limited or whatever. Where basically the Gilmo Brothers company is like a joint venture or whatever with Tencent.
It's crazy how many roach things.
Hey, what's up?
In like business in order to like obfuscate who owns what. Like, and it becomes immediately evident that the reason why this is because the people that are inventing these roach solutions are the ones that are paying the government to add in little holes so the roaches can go in and out of the holes. That's it. I hate that. Yes. So it's a complete. It's a roach economy. Zero accountability. I don't know about zero accountability, but it's just harder to see what is what.
So suffice to say, the boys at Tencent have got decent leverage.
As much on the company. I mean, if you want me to be totally honest, I do not want to deal in video game development. I don't want to manage video games at all. I would manage, like, I'm not passionate about making video games. I am passionate about maybe media, but not making, I just not. Like, it's just not something, like, it's weird, right? Because I play video games, I've always played video games my whole life. I'm one of those weird people, maybe, that I never thought, oh, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to make video games.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Grow up and just collect money from the government and play video games. Mission accomplished, by the way. But other than that, yeah, that was it. That's not weird. Yeah, it's insanely difficult to make video games. Yeah, but it's insanely difficult to do a lot of things if kids still want to do that. Yeah, that was it.
For the Gilmos, it's fair to say. Anyway, what's maybe more curious here is that Bloomberg are reporting that Ubisoft may, and this is a quote, seek evaluation for the yet-to-be-formed IP unit that is higher than
Am I
the
done?
size
Yeah,
of the
I'm
company.
out of here,
So let
man.
that sink in. A unit of Ubisoft being worth more than Ubisoft. How can that make sense? Well, honestly, it's actually extremely simple. Efficiency. If you take one unit of Ubisoft and take it away...
That's true. I mean, apparently they have 13,000 employees. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like if you have a game and the credits for this game are 2 hours long.
I was hoping that would blow a hole in the wall. How the hell do I get out of here?
You might have a little bit too many people working on the game. Maybe it's just a little bit too much.
All right, there we go.
You know, it's a little bit bloated. Yeah, just ooh, like wow. Like and keep in mind the
Hello,
credits.
welcome
were like an
to the
hour or
stream.
An hour and a half, and everybody was joking about that, about how bad it was. Ubisoft said, "Hold up, I can do that better," and they did.
Come on, there's zombies coming.
At Ubisoft, and you sort of
2
see right now,
hour credits.
lots of bits of Ubisoft are actually of a negative value. Well,
Yeah.
Hurry, come on, come on, come on.
With this sniped away thing, this scalpeled away thing, will actually...
This looks like this is like the Chinese or like the third world version of Valorant that like you buy guns with real money that do more damage, like and it's only on mobile, and it's called like
Oh shit!
Firefight Warriors. Really? Like, like this looks awful.
It's going pretty good.
Actually have a higher valuation.
Pay for bullet.
I got a good average coming up.
Shooters, yeah.
I started new hours this morning. I started at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna go a little later. I don't know. It all depends on how long my audience sticks around, I guess.
If this is to happen, and there is,
yeah, the IPs have a lot of intrinsic value.
I want to switch out these
two.
two.
Structure clearly does not. Like I've said this before, that like my dream.
I don't need that assassin hood.
Will have From Software make
but
a
I
Legend
do.
of Zelda game. Like I'm not like.
Let's start using some shotgun shells.
Like, oh, this is nice.
Here you go, buddy.
But I want Twilight Princess. I want Ocarina of Time. I want Majora's Mask. I want Link to the Past. I want that plus Elden Ring. That's what I want. OBP? Yeah. And so the IP has a lot of value. Have you played them? No, I haven't. I'm talking.
When you did report to Bloomberg that it is something that's being investigated, how would it happen?
Yeah,
There's two ways that could
I don't know. I still didn't get any views my first hour, so I'm just gonna stick with the 8 o'clock. It seems like they did a show up faster than they did it when I did the 7.
Yep.
So I'll probably keep it at 8 o'clock, and I'll just go until my audience drops off, and then do my 5 o'clock again. My evening streams are starting to get a lot more traction. I'm getting a lot more views on the evening now.
Register and run the IPs instead. Like this is basically
it's almost caught up to my mornings.
For them. There is, of course, another way. You just do a split in terms of development and intellectual property. Yeah. You could perhaps imagine one side taking the smaller yet beloved properties like Rayman,
which is great.
Somebody says the problem is when the layoffs hit, they're laying off good people. When Ubisoft layoffs happen, the people who ruined Assassin's Creed will stay at the company.
Once I make partner, that's 2 real good streams I'm doing a day.
What you're saying is true.
It's almost like working 2 jobs,
like,
man.
If you really want to see change happen, look at C-suite accountability. If you do that, things change instantly.
Yeah.
We should not fire any people ever.
I should be doing this for probably at least another 2-3 hours, probably 2.5 hours.
The reality is in a lot of these like you know.
That's usually about where my audience starts dropping off.
People all the way down, for sure.
And then
like, really,
I do my evening stream. I usually get a good 3.5 hours out of that. Here, once I get out of town, I'll actually look. I can show you my stream summaries.
Of that accountability.
I have had a couple bad streams in the past few days, but that comes with the territory. I'm not too worried about that as long as I think I can do it now. Let me pause.
How many border crossings were last year versus this year in February? It was 1. It was like 35,000. It changed to 1. At the end of the day, leadership does matter. And having leadership that puts a priority on certain
my current stream, I'm averaging 44 viewers. And I've been only streaming for an hour and 16 minutes. I had 57 average viewers out of a 5.5 hour stream. That was last night. That was actually a good stream.
Imagine being that one guy unstoppable.
What killed me was the 0 viewers in the first hour. I had 69 yesterday morning. Sunday night I had 74, one shy of what I needed. Sunday morning I had 60. I mean, I have good numbers. Well, that one's not all that great. But there's a 71. I have good numbers.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, your license
all I got to do is make partner.
Like 90% of the employees, and all you're doing is running a skeleton operation.
And then
you're just basically selling the thing that you already had to people to do it better than you can.
And then I could dedicate probably.
That's a huge W for me. Yeah, that's a massive.
Right now, here I can.
Of course, the problem there, the thing with efficiency is
this is I keep. This is kind of confusing.
Assassin's Creed saving the company does not mean better games for you.
achievements.
How many games does Ubisoft
All right.
that are more efficient?
This is in the last 1 to 30 days. I got it checked. I got all 6 in my 1 to 30 days. This is 31 to 60 days, which this will turn into eventually. So I got a check mark here. What I got to do is basically I'm running out of the clock. I'm waiting for my good streams to move into my 31 days and turn this in. So I need at least 4 streams above
Just throwing your money in the stock.
an average of 75. So basically, I need this number here, the average viewer, to be above 75 on 4 more streams.
Taking up resources that
Well, it's also like these other games.
And then all I'm doing is I'm waiting out the clock. The problem is
it's nice.
I might have more than 6 already. I don't know.
That's well designed and people.
So all I can do is keep trying to get streams over a 75% average until this turns into a check mark too.
The fact is that if you have a company,
so I could basically already be partner and just be waiting out the clock. I don't know. I would have to go into what is it? My engagement. My average viewers. I'd have to go through. Yeah, I have to go through and find out how many I actually have that are over 75.
AJ Investments may
well,
say
it's about the thing is that I agree half with what Bellier is saying and not with the other half.
So I like I said, I might be partner already and just have to wait out the clock. I don't know. But until I'm sure, I'm going to try. Well, I'm going to try to get as many viewers, my average, as high as I can. I mean, that's basically, that's the number I focus on the most when I'm looking at, whenever I'm looking at any of my analytics, is what is my,
and you're making it in a way that's not really
Twitch does,
with the audience.
I mean, it does pay,
you're fucking up. Like that's really
but
just, it's a marketing
I'm not partner, so I don't get paid really shit.
For this game should be fucking fired. Because they totally messed it up.
I think my overview
but if you
will tell me
this way and you make it
that I made $61
and you need to fit inside of the market expectations, and that's not what they did.
On May 18th.
Exactly. And so you see a lot of games like
I made it all on my birthday stream. So in the last month, I made $61.
Argument to authority of like Yasuke, he's real.
And I've actually spent more than that just the stream. So, but once I make partner, that number is going to blast up. I get more ad revenue.
They would have never had this problem.
So it benefits me to be partner. I get paid more. It's
at the very highest level, decisions are being made that are stupid. Stupid decisions are being made, and because of that...
And then once I actually start...
That's what it comes down to.
I mean, I'm going to be streaming anyway.
And
once that starts,
like if I look at like
I can
for example, the combat
start doing other things like the YouTube. I want to start doing the YouTube. But I will be doing that from streaming. So I will do my morning stream, and then for an hour or two...
Those people know what they're doing, and they're good at their job.
No, that's just in the last month.
Because they're following directions. But the people that are
I usually only make maybe... That's actually pretty good because of my birthday stream. I usually only make maybe $40 a month on an average. But yeah, my last month, that's it.
Yeah, the combat, I would say for an action combat game, I think it's below mid. But, I mean, that's my opinion. The combat department needs to be changed. Yeah, but like what I'm saying is that like I think that a lot of Ubisoft's and I'll give you the best
happy hour. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to pay you now that you did it.
Is that the guy, the CEO of the company, was like confused.
Buy or
the
buy.
reason why his video games aren't selling very well, but they review so well. Well, why are these games reviewing so well, but they're not selling well? Well, it's because they're not reviewing well. You're listening to a handful of retards that are, you know, journalists about these video games and not your actual customers. I think that just by itself is the biggest self-report you can possibly have. How do you self-report that hard? That you're focusing off of that?
They want that.
Rotten
They may
Tomatoes
say
problem?
that and try to harness your anger
Hey.
to put on more pressure. But at the end
How's
of the
it
day,
going?
you know that they were delays to Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, I
And
need
whether
another
you want
quest.
that game to succeed or
You
not,
give to me
I'll
quests.
shake your hand, but
delaying
I bet
their
you got
game
dysentery.
more polished releases is
Smell.
almost universally a good thing for the customer.
It is.
So if
I don't
it's
really
forced
need
to sell
that. I'll
factor
get
into
it anyway.
to the highest bidder.
You know the drill, asshole. I tell you to go fuck yourself, but you did that when you didn't buy anything.
Yeah, right now that's what I'm focusing on. I'm so close to partner.
Will that be good for
Yeah, I'm so close to partner right now. That's what I'm focusing on.
Especially since this is the type of the investor who is
I'm doing great.
anti-delay, even though the likes of Star Wars Outlaws clearly tell us those delays are
I'm gonna be honest. It can't get worse.
Bombshell
Fuck it,
news.
send it to China. Maybe they can do
Well,
something.
come to think of it, word of advice. Next time, bathe before coming to a job interview.
I mean, you might as well. It can get worse? Not really, though.
Alright, let me go empty out my bags at my base.
to need it. And so regardless of how well Assassin's Creed Shadows sells, expect them to do more things, to drum up more headlines, to try and get a bit more leverage, a bit more control, and turn that pressure into something that they can profit off. Meanwhile, though, on the Gilmo front, well, they might be trying to restructure Ubisoft, doing something with Tencent.
I haven't been around in a while.
Around this problem. Will that be good for the actual games? I don't necessarily think so.
I think that anything that involves a leadership change will be a net positive.
Oy.
If you want to use another D&D analogy, I think that their leadership is a 5. It's by the way, this is not a 6-sided dice. It's a 20-sided dice, D&D dice. Do you re-roll a 5? Yeah, you do. You re-roll a 5. I think that, yeah, they should re-roll it.
So, at least it basically means, who knows if Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be some amazing banger or terrible failure, whatever it is. At least, what I can say, with a good degree of surety, is that it does make for a pretty damn good episode of corporate drama. We could at least enjoy that. Okay, I'll see you when there's a new update to this story.
I think this
probably
is
in a
so
week or two,
funny.
once we know how the game launch is actually shaken out. Till then, though, do you want more drama? Corporate drama? Well,
I'll
what's
link it
this
to you
next?
guys. This is a good video from Bellior. I pretty much agree with everything that he said, except for like maybe a couple of things. I think that Ubisoft, here's what's really fucked up. The gameplay in a lot of these Ubisoft games, aside from like the stealth gameplay, like the Prince of Persia combat on a fundamental level, like the Lost Crown, and the Assassin's Creed combat feels relatively good. Like it's not bad combat. But the big problem is that the leadership and the way that the games are delivered and the way they're marketed and like big picture
Only
design
5 points,
decisions
huh?
are bad. And when you think about that, I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, if I'm just a grunt and like my job is to just program things to look good and to feel good to play, I'm doing my job. And I think it sucks that if they do this restructuring, that all of those people that do good work, all of those people are going to probably be let go. Or at least the majority of them. Yeah, it sucks. Combat's way too rigid. I mean, I think it's okay, right? It's not amazing, but like, it's okay. Yeah, once you get a guy, you
Hey,
realize
a
how bad
pair of
once
boots
you get-
that-
Oh, as soon as I play Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, that's the thing. There's a
Increase
very
my
good
s-
chance that
my run
if
speed.
I play the game and like I see these other games are like way fucking better, then you know, sure, that maybe could happen. But I do think that in a general sense, the big problem of what happened is that I think a lot of Western game studios have totally lost their focus and they don't understand at all about like what should or shouldn't happen in the game anymore, and what should or shouldn't be in the game anymore at all. And I think that's really the big weakness that a lot of these development studios have, is that they don't have a focus in a way that is meaningful and that matters. Western games are just DEI instead of a good game. Yeah, I unironically, like, and I know this might get me in trouble, but I unironically think that the over-fixation on DEI representation, and I think hiring based off of that too, because, like, here's the way I see it.
What do you?
Like,
That's not your stuff.
diversity
What
is
are you doing?
something that usually naturally occurs whenever you engage in an international market, like you know, or a widespread market. Like if you have a company that's only in Japan, you're going to have only really Japanese people that are going to play that game, right? Or work at that company. But if you're talking about like an international thing, and think about it with streaming, right? For example, like if you pull up, like let me go back. I'll pull up Twitch Tracker. So let's just look at, we'll look at channels here. So Kai, all of these people, me, Queso, Cadro,
God
like,
damn it.
Loud Kringa, Jinxie, Hassan, like this, I think he's this Japanese guy. If you look at all these people, there is a tremendous amount of diversity here. It is completely multicultural. It is multiracial. It is all guys. But other than that, it's all different people, right? And that's the thing. And so my point is, no women? Well, yeah, because it's a male-dominated platform. Like, that's really the reason why. And so if you look at this, like, there's tons of different people, tons of different races of people. So I look at diversity as something that if you provide an even playing field, diversity will happen naturally. But when you're hiring based off of diversity, and you're hiring based off of diversity-based goals, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up hiring people that are not the best fit. Because that's the reason, that's like, if this was happening naturally and you were hiring people that were the best fit, you wouldn't need these goals in the first place in order to keep things on these rails. So the only reason why you have these goals is so you can artificially add these people into the ecosystem, while at the same time not taking the person that you would have naturally taken that would have been maybe a better fit for the company, maybe a better employee or something like that.
Oh, I should probably
And so
repair my
merit
guns.
needs to be the only focus that you have. And I think that when you have a merit-based, and this is the point that I was making, is when you have a merit-based system like Twitch, nobody gets a career
right here.
given to them on Twitch. People decide, like there are people that get hosted every single day and they don't get any viewers, etc. You have a
Alright, I'm gonna run to the bathroom right
diverse
quick.
group of people whenever you open things up to anybody can do this. And
I'll
if
be
you
right
look at,
back.
For example, like the guys that work at X, like at Twitter, you're going to see the exact same thing. It's subjective? No, it's not. I think the truth is that it's the same with the Olympics. Like you see people all over around in the world that are successful in the Olympics. Like I am not a diversity disliker. I am a forced diversity disliker because I think that it's counterproductive. I think diversity happens naturally. Like if you just look at, and again, you just look at like pictures of me and like videos of me whenever I was in high school or like, you know, I don't know, I have a few from middle school, right? Like or college, you'll see that like I have tons of friends that are of all different nationalities, all different races, religions, everything, right? Because it's just normal. Like growing up online, that was the default. That was what was normal. And like having a racially homogenous group is what wasn't. And so easy public school, exactly. What happens if it's just a normal black woman, though? Then it's called randomly DEI for no reason? Well, that's stupid. Like, so what? Like, I mean, do I have to play defense for somebody who I don't even agree with? I don't think that's true. I think that's dumb. So, yeah, it's like, yes, obviously, and just real quick, I do agree with you that the amount of calls for everything is DEI nowadays, it is exhausting. I think that you're right. But the truth is that is a very, very small group of annoying people. And the fact is also, like I'll say this.
All right, I'm back.
A lot of the guys that are doing that are joking around. They are. They're joking around. Like most of the people in my chat are like, oh yeah, you know, it's like, okay, it's a black person DEI or a girl, it's DEI. It's a joke. No, I'm not saying that it's a great joke or it's, you know, this is the pinnacle of comedy or anything. But they're not doing it in a serious manner. At least a lot of them are. Now, some of them definitely are, though. That being said, the point that I was trying to get at here is that I think that when you have Western game studios, and this is especially true of American game studios, because European game studios somehow are less affected by this rot. You have American game studios, particularly American game studios, that have a hyper-fixation around creating video games that act as a metaphor or a reinforcement mechanism of their worldview. This is a very reductive way to make a video game. And it's also something that a lot of people don't agree with. And the problem isn't even that they're doing it. The problem is that they're doing it and nobody agrees with what they're doing. The fact is that a lot of these ideologies are not very popular. They're not. They're not that great. And it's not that popular to hear about, like, you know, the non-binary thing with what was it, Dragon Age the Veilguard. That is simply not a well-understood thing that average people can relate to. And that's the point that I think a lot of people don't understand.
They don't know how to differentiate bad from good criticism. I think this is my patented catchphrase by now, but when you have this much negative discourse surrounding your games, you need to be listening, regardless of whether or not it's good or bad feedback you provide, regardless if you align with these people's political beliefs or social political beliefs.
This is a problem that a lot of artists have, and it's a problem that I think that artists that are trying to exist in a commercial space have, because a lot of artists believe in the moral good of whatever art they're making. Like, very few artists believe that they're actually, like, morally bad people. And so, because they think that they're doing a good thing, well, they view anybody who's criticizing them as a morally bad person. I think that's what happens the most. Is it arrogance? Well, it's arrogance, but, like, it's a simplification. What I'm saying is that artists view their art as a expression of themselves. And in the process of them feeling it like an expression of themselves, they take criticism against it personally, and it's why they have a harder time listening to feedback and criticism.
Whatever it might be. None of that matters. When you have your games on fire as much as Ubisoft games have been lately, you need to put those fires out somehow. And the only way that you can do that is by listening to them and implementing whatever feedback you possibly can into your games to make them better. Regardless, the other thing is, I'm sorry. I am sick of, I am disgusted by a blatant, feigned virtue over how much they care about Japanese culture and history. I'm sorry. You are bastardizing Japanese culture and history for profit. That's...
As I said, bro, like, it's white people, right? This is what we do. We take over somebody's culture, we change it, and then we say, thank God for us. That we've saved you. We've saved you from this. This is what we do. We've been doing it for a really long time, and it's just happening again.
That's what you're trying to do here. You're not trying to make a history piece. We know that. It's loosely based on, very loosely based on Japanese culture and history. Look at you guys. You put out a Torigate figurine, a half Torigate figurine with your characters on it, without knowing the cultural relevance of the half Torigate? After
got destroyed in World War II.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Do you have any idea what that means to these people?
They use Tectone as a consultant for this.
What's wrong with you? At the end of the day, it all comes down to leadership.
It's actually very easy to understand what's wrong with them. There are people that are bored. They have a tremendous sense of internalized guilt, and they think by doing this kind of stuff, they're being a good person. Once you understand that most people's actions are only taken in order to make themselves feel better or to serve some personal goal, then as soon as you figure that out and you start operating under that pretense, everything else that a person does makes immediate sense. Capega, I'm helping. Yeah, exactly. It's self-righteousness. Exactly it is.
When you look at Ubisoft's messaging, the lackluster delivery of titles like X-Defiant and Star Wars Outlaws, the inaccuracies and screw-ups with Assassin's Creed Shadows, you see a developer that has no clear plan or vision for what players want, what good games look like, or how to even do their job. I took the time to talk to the Ubisoft developers about the workplace culture. about the initiative that they've taken for diversity hiring and what happens behind the scenes at Ubisoft, and it's wild to see how accurate some of the assumptions that have been made by myself and others. Now, continuing my conversation with one of the developers, I wanted to find more about the workplace structure and management. And seeing as though the company has had initiatives that have been put in place to make the workplace a little bit more diverse, I asked, what benefits have you seen? Is there more diversity in thought, or is it creating a more one-sided environment? They said that so far the initiative hasn't had any impact on the team that I'm a part of. However, it's clear that some topics are taboo. What happened is now that people end up in a meeting with HR for trivial stuff, not adding smiley faces to a message or adding an exclamation point at the end of a message, because some people are reporting it for harassment.
I could easily believe you. 100%. Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that wasn't in your video is that Ubisoft had some controversy during the review period, letting go of a manager in high positions, and some left on their own because they knew they'd be discovered. I then asked, what was the impact of this in the workplace? They responded by saying the editorial direction and overall mindset shifted from the boys club to safe content, reaching for...
Is this a video about Blizzard or Ubisoft? Wait a minute. Hold up. What's this?
Playing characters like Kay in Star Wars is a perfect example of this. The idea to have beautiful characters such as Baldur's Gate or Uncharted is met with distrust. Of course. The developer shared sentiment saying that safe content also leads to limited opportunities on the gameplay side. Even for Star Wars, we had to work with Disney, which would shut down most attempts at depicting a true criminal underworld with cruelty and drama.
Naturally.
When you put this developer's perspective in line with the recent failures and controversies at Ubisoft or any AAA developer...
So they're basically implying that they probably would have gone farther with Star Wars Outlaw, but they weren't able to because of Disney. I immediately believe that. I do. I think that makes so much sense. Yeah, probably true.
At this point, it all makes sense. An overcorrection in sensitivity.
By the way, it seems crazy because didn't Disney Disney owns Marvel, right? Like Thanos is probably one of the greatest gray area characters that we've ever had. At least in recent superheroes. I think he's probably one of the best, if not the best, superhero cinema, gray area character. I mean, what the fuck? Why not do that with Star Wars?
Boys club days that many studios experienced during their early years. As such, many games today lack the teeth and grit that players crave because those things are seen as problematic or unsafe to make in the workplace.
Well, the problem also is that you have a workplace that's trying to overcorrect for past sins. So, for example, they're trying to overcorrect for the fact that they got this whole Me Too problem in their company because they had weirdos that were working there. So now it's effectively the players that have to play a worse version of a product because the company had some sort of internal problem.
Whose emojis or exclamation points. You could offend someone. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How soft have we gotten? It reminds me
it's also that's a huge that's a huge indicator. It's like if people are getting called into HR for not using smiley faces or using exclamation marks, think about how painful all the rest of the office experience must be. Because it's not like this is the only manifestation of this degree of mental illness. Absolutely not. It's probably everywhere.
Time where the Helldivers 2 community manager went on a ban spree on their Discord because players were using a throw-up emoji on furry art that was posted in their Discord.
By the way, this is actually true. Helldivers let a moderator on their Discord ban people because they thought that furry art was disgusting. It's probably the most retarded thing that I had seen that company do. Insane. And they didn't because if it was me, right, I would have just banned the dev and been like, okay, you're not gonna, this isn't your platform to talk about furry porn. Get out of here. Right, it's disgusting, yeah, but they let it happen. And as far as I know, this person's still a moderator. Yeah, it's insane that you would even allow that to happen.
Sometimes people need to be offended. While I'm going to try to resist the pull yourself up by your bootstraps tirade, friction
Well,
on
the
some...
problem, I think here's the problem. The problem is that there's a lot of reasonable people who try to meet people like that in the middle, and they try to be reasonable with them. But the problem is that these people are not reasonable to begin with. So they're like obnoxious, they have like these weird values. You can't meet these people in the middle because they're never going to be in the middle. They're mentally ill weirdos.
Levels is necessary in life. Now that doesn't mean that people should be allowed to openly harass others, but there are major issues that arise when you have emojis that can get you fired. This overreaction and overcorrection leads to a workplace that is actively hostile towards freedom of thought, expression, and criticism.
Yeah, because you have people, and this is the reason why people do this. They also complain to HR. I think that people probably complain like this because it guarantees a degree of job security. Because like in their mind, they're thinking, well, if I'm having all these problems at the company is going to be less likely to get rid of me because maybe they could have some kind of lawsuit or discrimination against themselves. You see what I'm saying? So like there's all of these like metagaming things that are happening.
As one of the interviewees mentioned earlier, they noticed a culture of toxic positivity. From my perspective, toxic positivity is fake people saying fake things, and in the case of Ubisoft, making fake products. Nobody wants to live their entire life being terrified that someone is going to misunderstand them.
Yeah.
And when you're at a studio like Ubisoft and you're not even allowed to make characters attractive, otherwise it might upset people at the studio, you have a problem. This culture of fear and forced uniformity stifles...
Well, the problem, so like here's a good example of it, right? Is if like they want to add in a, like the character, like they want to add in like a trans character to the game. Like let's say, you want to add in a trans character, okay. How do you think it sounds and how do you think it's received in the office with people that are trying to push this kind of stuff when you say no? Think about that. Now you're the bad guy. Now you're the one who is like, now you're transphobic. And these people can risk losing their job. Now you're anti-LGBT, right? Exactly. So there's a ton of pressure on people. So once this stuff starts getting put into the game, there's no way that these companies can push back against it because everybody is afraid of getting fired or being mislabeled because it's not appropriate for a game. I don't feel safe. Yeah, exactly. Now you're not being inclusive. Exactly. So you can easily see how this happens, and it's basically the problem is only allowed to get worse, and if you try to make it better, you get fired.
Creativity innovation. It's no wonder that Ubisoft is struggling to produce anything of real substance when their own developers are walking on eggshells, more worried about HR complaints than creating groundbreaking games.
And you shouldn't also get mad at the developers for not wanting to do that. I mean, these guys, a lot of them have been working in the industry for 10 years. They're not going to try to go and, you know, do all this stuff like make themselves look bad. They're not going to fuck up their career over some trans character, especially if they're just like a narrative designer. Like, you know, they just want to do their job.
Can you make bold, impactful content when every idea is scrutinized for being too risky, too offensive, or too unsafe? It's a workplace where mediocrity is rewarded and where pushing boundaries, the very things that games are supposed to do, is seen as a liability. This workplace culture, this overreaction and overcorrection has infected just about every single industry that's out there. I worked in construction for 7 years up until last December, and the company that I worked for was more afraid of HR issues than they were of injuries. We worked with hydrogen sulfide and hydrogen cyanide, gases that could kill half of a city. You know, we've discussed modern audiences, the mythical, magical modern audiences, and soft modern games.
This is a problem, and I think that the big issue is that normal people that have like normal opinions and are not insane don't speak out against this enough. And because people like that don't speak out against it, this type of behavior is kind of just allowed to get worse, basically.
Found the audience is the people that are running these companies nowadays. You have folks that are walking
like
around
average
on
people don't push back
eggshells,
enough on
afraid
it.
to say anything. Anecdotal, but just like a few weeks ago or a month ago or so, I remember I was live streaming, and instinctively I said something was retarded.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial. We all grew up saying it. It's a product of my upbringing. Say what you will. I didn't say it consciously. It just came out. And one of my chatters pops up and says, "How often do you say that word?" I banned the fuck out of them. Get the fuck.
Fucking exactly. Wow, a guy that worked in construction used the word retarded. I know some guys in construction. They use a lot of other words besides retarded. Yeah, get the fuck out. Like, what do you mean, how often do I use the word? I use it all the time. Yeah, expensive construction worker. Yeah, exactly. They're freaks. Like, yeah, well, and more than just being freaks, they're freaks that want to tell you what to do. And I think that's the kind of problem. I don't want to be told what to do. Don't tell me what to say. Don't tell me what not to say. Don't tell me what I'm allowed to have an opinion on. No. Like, I'm going to talk and say how I want. That's it. If people don't like it, now I can't break the terms of service of the website. But other than that, I say whatever the hell I want. Classic retards. What do you expect?
Are you kidding me? People that are out there that are waiting, prepared to be offended. I'm sick of it.
As if you're accountable to them. As if you have to explain something to them.
You cannot have workplaces that are out there where every single thing that you say, you have to watch every word that comes out of your mouth. Otherwise, it could be your livelihood.
And that's what happens, right? I feel like right now, like you're seeing like a huge backlash from that, because from like I would say 2018 to 2022, 2023, this was extremely common, and now it's becoming less and less common. And culturally, I think that people are becoming more aware of how ridiculous it is and the tone policing and control. But yeah, there's always offended bozos. Well, people like that will always want to get mad because they wield power by getting mad. That's how they get attention. And so that's it, pendulum swinging back. And yeah, I think that's a good thing, by the way. That's why I have no problem like saying that kind of stuff and shitting on these people, is because these are the same kinds of people that would destroy your livelihood if you said something that they disagreed with. So you should always try to do the same thing to them before they can do it to you, because you know they're going to do it to you for sure. Pendulum isn't swinging back at all. It absolutely is. If you can't see that, you're crazy.
Again, I'm not saying that you can walk around saying anything. That's not what this is. Everybody knows. I think that's the
You
most
can say
frustrating.
whatever you want. I mean, if people don't like it, that's up to them, right? I mean, that's the truth. Like, you say whatever the hell you
Trading
want.
part
so.
when you have these kind of conversations is that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. But the intellectual dishonesty around this kind of thing is just, it's fucking mind-boggling. We have workplace environments that actively work against any type of creative or constructive criticism. That's how you make games like this. This is how games and products are being ruined over time, is because nobody's allowed to criticize
Are you
things
serious?
properly. You have places, you have people in the workplace.
Just entertaining pussies. Yeah, that's the problem. Is that, and this is a big issue that I think a lot of people have, is that they try to be reasonable with unreasonable people. When you try to reason with an unreasonable person, compromising with them makes you unreasonable. Never give any ground to a person who's being unreasonable. Never stop and explain things to them. No, there's no reason. The equation doesn't work? Yeah. Never allow an unreasonable person to have any control in something.
They're like, I don't think these characters are going to be received
back
well
down.
by
Yeah.
fans, but they're not allowed to say anything about it. They can't say it's not hot enough. It's not masculine enough. They can't say that because it's problematic to say so.
Yeah, of course.
Tame and safe are the antonyms of exciting and daring. Baldur's Gate 3.
Something like that feels like created with training wheels on it.
God damn.
That's the problem, is that people don't like art if they feel like the art is inauthentic. And I think that games come feel extremely inauthentic. That's why Baldur's Gate 3 can have pronouns and trans stuff and gay themes and all that, and nobody gives a shit. It's because the problem was never actually the content, it was the way the content was delivered in the game.
Was exciting and daring. Star Wars Outlaws. Tame and safe.
Yeah, of course.
Whether it's their poor job at representing Japan or the trailers of Assassin's Creed, there are clearly levels of incompetency at work. As many players have pointed out in the game trailers, the promotional materials that are meant to sell the game, you can see frame rate issues, texture issues, poor collision detection, weapons slipping through characters, and more.
Yeah.
Controversies aside, this game doesn't look like it's ready for launch, and in fact, its developer just recently came out.
Yeah, they agreed with us.
Canceled their appearance at Tokyo Game Show and announced that the game would be delayed until February. Along with
Big
the delay,
surprise.
Ubisoft CEO recently issued a memo to their employees that ended up getting leaked publicly, and it showcases just how to touch this company is with their players. Rather than acknowledging their real missteps, they turn to critic scores, pointing out
Yes!
Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh,
solid
I've always
76
wanted to do that.
critics.
Whoa.
You know that you were trying to sell the game to game reviewers. That
I wonder if they survived.
When I read that, I was like, I can't believe it. You're actually listening to reviews as a player? How can you do this? What's wrong? Are you insane?
makes a lot of sense, seeing as though that you're completely ignoring player feedback that clearly shows that your game is hovering in mediocrity. Even worse, they believe that Black Friday sales are somehow going to magically turn things around, not realizing that the amount of discounting fundamentally misses the point nobody's interested in. The memo reads,
There's never a time where making the game cheaper makes the game popular. That's not how it works. People will spend money on the game if the game is good. It's never about the money. It's always about the value.
it's more like a corporate spin than a genuine reflection of failure. No mention of the controversies or deeper issues that are plaguing the company. We talk about how all players want are highly polished games on launch day, when the truth is players are craving meaningful, risk-taking, authentic content. Things that Ubisoft hasn't seen in decades. Even in their own memo to their own employees, they can't speak frankly about their mistakes. This sanitized messaging shows just how deeply disconnected the company is.
I think she did survive.
They should be listening to.
That's her there.
Interested in the perspective of the
This is the thing that a lot of game studios are starting to realize, is that a game studio needs to rely on a middleman in order to communicate with their audience. You don't have to rely
Oh, I forgot
on
I had my mini
publication.
bike.
You don't have to rely on journalists. You don't have to rely on magazines. You don't have to rely on newspapers. All you have to do is put the information out there, and then the public will receive it. That's it. And so, and I think this is a big problem, right? You think about this, like, if you're a journalist or you're like a publication, this is a huge issue for you. And you want to take that ability away from them. Because if you take that ability away from them, then you preserve your own purpose of existence. But if they don't need to work through you, then why do you exist? So that's why they keep trying to push back on this stuff. That's why they keep trying to find problems like this.
Employees who received this memo, I had a few questions on their thoughts of the messaging and leadership of the company. I asked, what has been the message from management to the staff about Ubisoft's declining sales? What do they believe is the reason behind it? They responded, the fun fact is they don't talk much about it. They mainly focus on the fact that they've reached their financial objectives, which are mainly achieved through casual player sales, not the vocal gamer minority that are sick of what you described in your video. Also, something to know is that through the years, the number of management floors has increased to ridiculous amounts. So communication is often blurry unless they come directly from HQ, and even then, it's almost...
So this is kind of what happens, is that I think that, like, with games, it takes a while for, like, a company's reputation to be, like, fully eroded. And, like, for Ubisoft, for example, I think that like this reputation has been eroded with like, let's say, Skull and Bones, or I think there was a game before then, I don't remember which one was, Prince of Persia. And like the reputation isn't really damaged like immediately. It's something that has like a ripple effect. And so it didn't happen and it didn't really affect them until really Star Wars Outlaws, because they came out and they said that Star Wars Outlaws didn't sell very well. So it's very clear that this the idea that there's like a big casual audience that doesn't care about any of these problems. It's very obvious that this is true, but it's also very obvious that this is not always true. And also, even that casual audience will turn on you and will not make purchase decisions based off of different reasons. Like, for example, Concord, or for example, Star Wars Outlaws. Is that, yes, you can rely on them to an extent, but that extent becomes smaller every single day.
Entirely corpo bullshit that isn't useful in the end.
Yeah.
I asked another employee to verify the increase in management at the company, fearing that this is likely one of the biggest issues that's facing the company. Seeing that lack of clear and creative vision, they painted a picture of a company that's not only overrun with management, but that's passively aggressive about removing higher paid and talented employees, slotting in underskilled and unexperienced management at a cheaper rate.
The crazy thing about that is that this is something that happens to seemingly every company nowadays. Like, this isn't even a Ubisoft problem, this is just a corporate problem.
They claim that Ubisoft as an employer shows little regard for their developers. What happens in practice is that they essentially push out senior engineers, promoting junior engineers to senior roles after just a few years of experience, oftentimes with experience in just one engine. Meanwhile, experienced developers with far broader skill sets are being overlooked. This constant cycle of turnover with inexperienced leaders leads to noticeable drops in quality, with bugs appearing in their games. The passionate, dedicated developers leave, while those who are just going through the motions stay behind. This doesn't just affect the technical quality of their games, but also impacts the design and creativity. For instance, you'll find designers working on FPS mechanics who have never played an FPS game before.
Man, not surprised. I'm not either, honestly. Makes sense, yeah.
Or engineers who don't understand how the mechanics they're building are supposed to feel. There's a lack of passion and skill across the board, and the results are obvious. That line about designers working on FPS games and leading FPS projects struck a chord with me. Not long ago, Ubisoft released Defiant, a military shooter that was meant to compete with the likes of Call of Duty. However, since the game's release, they lost the vast majority of their player base, with Ubisoft claiming the game isn't dying, despite it reportedly losing 94%.
You lose 94% of your player base. It's not dying, though. It's doing well. Really? That's crazy. Wow.
Percent of its players on Xbox. Why is XDefiant ran into so many issues? Netcode, hit registration, and general shooter gameplay issues. Common problems that are normally ironed out well before a game ever hits the market, especially a shooter. It's core to gameplay. If you're playing a live service shooter, all you do is...
This has also happened with Overwatch, too. Is that, like, the hitboxes for Overwatch, I think, recently have been, like, completely fucking changed. And, like, they've gotten worse. So this is happening with tons of big games like this. It might have been fixed by now,
That's
though.
the gameplay. But when the shooting doesn't work, you don't have a game. Ubisoft's leadership is completely disconnected from the reality of game development and player expectations. The problems stem from a bloated management structure that's prioritizing reaching financial targets through casual player sales, rather than listening to the core gaming community.
And like, you really think about, like, what are they really saying? They're saying that we hope to sell games to people that are too retarded to know that they're bad. Hopefully, we're relying on our audience being uneducated and uninformed, and hopefully we'll make sales based off of that. We're selling to casuals that don't know any better. That's crazy. They do? They didn't. If they were actually doing that, see, here's the thing. Blizzard does that. Blizzard does that because Diablo 4, at the end of the day, is a great game for casual dads. It is amazing for your casual dad with fucking 5 jobs, 3 wives, and 10 kids. But the problem is that Ubisoft isn't doing that. That's the issue.
Of their tired formula. Even their own developers are frustrated as they watch as talented senior engineers are pushed out of the studios and inexperienced juniors are promoted far too quickly, leading to a noticeable drop in quality. It's no wonder their games are riddled with bugs and lack any real innovation. This company is more focused on appearances rather than creating meaningful, engaging content.
I think that's actually a really good point. Is like there's a lot of content nowadays. I think this is true.
Ah, fucker!
Is that I notice this a lot with creators. Is that a lot of times, like, and this is especially true with like COVID era creators.
Damn fence.
I feel like almost all of them in like the Among Us era have pretty much totally fallen off. They've lost a lot of their relevance and their popularity. And I think that the reason why is that they were very focused on the way that they were perceived and like kind of making content and trying to appear as if they were popular. And the problem is that that only works for so long. Eventually people move on. Like think about how many people that were getting like, let's say 20, 30,
It's going all right.
40,000
I'm
viewers
outrunning a dire wolf right now,
nowadays can't even break 10K.
and I'm
it
trying
will-
to
by the way,
find
it will never come back.
a trader
It's not like they're going to come back and be popular
in
again.
the
They'll never be
wasteland.
popular again. And to be honest, they should be happy that they were ever popular in the first place because it shouldn't have happened.
And it's dark and it's hard to
But
see.
it did. Good for them. 10K is good though. 10K is good. But the majority of them, by the way, are way less than that. I was trying to be nice, okay? Some of them can't even break 1,000.
Of their games doesn't matter as long as they aren't offending anyone. When you see the issues that plague Assassin's Creed Shadows, the pandering, the generic virtue, the lies, the cover-ups, and the lack of understanding of what they're apparently inspired by, when you see how safe and tame, how boring, buggy, and soulless
Yeah, no, I'm alright.
is, when you see how their most anticipated shooter in X Defiant is riddled with
I'm just,
common issues, bugs.
What's crazy about that is X Defiant.
I'm in the wasteland and I'm not.
Gassed up when it came out.
It's nighttime and it's not. It's a rough time to be here.
At least like from my perspective. So to see that they totally mismanaged it, I mean, like, how do you let that happen? Yeah, it's nuts.
Kinds of different things that normal shooters would never have on day one, that's made by developers and led by developers that haven't even played an FPS game. You see a studio and a publisher that lacks integrity and a spine. Cowards in leadership roles, afraid to loosen their grip on the wheel. Developers afraid to speak out and unable to express any of their creativity. Franchise.
People are afraid of being painted.
It is right now.
By people that effectively wield power through greed. I think that's what happens.
It's probably not very high. I just checked it. Well, I'll check it here again in a minute. Oh shit, another dire wolf.
Because if you're doing that, you're seen as being on the side of the bad people.
This is destined for obscurity. Ubisoft isn't just losing its way, it's already lost. And the only thing left is to watch it burn. You know, it's crazy to speculate about these kind of things, but it's an entirely different beast to find out what you've been believing this entire time. It is absolutely
Alright, hang on.
And I want to take the time to thank the developers that reached out to me. It was daring for them to do something like that. Obviously, their identities are being kept secret for very obvious reasons. Most of these folks could lose their job over having these kind of discussions. But
yeah, of course.
Keep in mind, what's really sad about this is that there are developers
67 average viewers.
that want to see things change, that want to
Up
fix
from
things,
44.
these obvious
I
issues.
think this
Last
is
time I
a lot
checked,
of
it was
development
44.
studios. I've had a lot of people that work in games industry reach out to me too.
So it is going
I
up.
haven't really taken a lot
I
of
got a
time
pretty
to
good
kind of
viewership.
them kind of anonymously, but there have been a lot of people that have spoken out to me and like talked to me privately about this. And what he's saying seems very familiar. Not in Ubisoft that I can remember. I could be wrong, but not in Ubisoft.
But they're not
I hope this is an alien, not somebody's yard.
That sucks. That's something that all of us can empathize with. I'm pretty sure that anybody that's watching this video right now has likely worked with some level of management that took them in the wrong direction, and led them down the wrong path. You know, the biggest issue for Ubisoft is that the damage is already done. Their brand is already torched. Their name and their reputation.
It will take them probably 5, if not 10 years to rebuild their reputation. I think that like reputational damage is something that it has like a massive delayed effect. And like 10 years, yeah, maybe, right?
Oh, hi, Bear.
It's in shambles by now.
It's like what I said before, right? Build 100 bridges, suck one dick. You're not a bridge builder, you're a dick sucker. And the reality is like reputation matters a lot. And bringing out, and also by the way, the Ubisoft sucked 100 dicks and they built one bridge. That's the problem.
And looking and seeing that they have pushed back Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's for obvious reasons. While they're going to say that it's for fixing issues in the game, there's issues that we saw in the trailers, so that's totally believable. The game likely does need more time in the oven more than anything else, but outside of that, you know, I really think it's just them trying to distance it from all the bad press. Because there's a lot of people that have been talking about Ubisoft, there's a lot of people that have been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it doesn't look good. And pushing it
I'm having a hard time believing there's no
any of that's going to change it.
traitor
If anything, seeing how often they
in the
like to put their own
wasteland.
foot in their mouth when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, you're just giving me and a bunch of other content creators more time to farm you.
So true. Yeah, that's, 2 more months, guys. Fuck yeah.
Anything else? I was talking to one of the developers.
At least there's
about
not one in this
today,
town.
And they're like, one of the things that really confused the whole group of developers is that they're like, well, we need more time to fix bugs and issues, but we're also going to add more quests and side content. They're like,
if I could maintain this 100 probably for the next hour, I might be able to.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'll check again in a little bit.
They decided that the game was incomplete.
And see how fast it's moving up.
Content for players to do. There wasn't enough content. Yeah, absolutely.
And also,
Wait, I think this is a traitor.
Push it to February, the month that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds release. You're cooked. What are you doing?
I think that it's a 5-head decision by Ubisoft to release it that month. Because they've basically decided, we know this game is going to be garbage, so hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to release it in a really popular month where a lot of other games come out, and nobody's going to talk about our game because they're going to be busy playing the other games. Right? So like, yeah, we can just have this one go by under the radar, nobody's going to be thinking about us, and it'll be okay.
What are you doing?
Okay, I don't think that's a traitor.
I don't know, man. I want to thank everybody. Thank you guys for watching the last video as well. It was my first 1 million view video. That's just a wild achievement, one that I wasn't really sure that I'd ever be able to achieve.
Ah! Run away!
Again, if it wasn't for your guys' support, stories like these wouldn't be able to come out.
That was close.
I do more stuff like this in the future because I had a great time making this video. This is probably this is my most favorite video that I've ever made. But yeah, outside of that, thank you guys. If you guys have enjoyed the content, make sure that you're sharing these videos. Make sure you like the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What are you doing? Come on, man. Just come on board. If you guys want to catch me live, you can follow me on Twitch. I'm live 2 days a week. I'm working on videos 4 days a week. I'm sleeping 1 day a week. That's smart. But outside of that, my friends, stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. I'll catch you guys next time.
This is a really good video. I'm gonna link you guys a video. This is really good. Look up Ubisoft Avatar Tears of Pandora. CD Projekt Red was in a bad spot. Yeah, it took them a long time to like get out of that. And even now, I think that people are going to be apprehensive about buying Witcher 4. I absolutely think so. So yeah, there's the video. Give it a like. Talk to the Ubisoft dev or worse than thought. What a fucking surprise. I think that, by the way, it's crazy because of like half of what he was saying I think is like kind of exclusive to Ubisoft and like probably other companies like Blizzard, for example. But I think that the other half of what he was talking about with like management replacing people, you know, with cheaper people, and then also with like kind of just like more management creating more management. I feel like this is a corporate issue that happens everywhere. Like it happens all over the place. Yeah, it's way more widespread. Exactly, it is. And I think that's what's going to keep happening. Yeah, can't wait for Witcher 4. I'm excited for the game, too. I'm going to have to play Witcher 3 first and get through everything. I never actually finished the game, but there's the video right there. And widespread issue? Yeah, I think so. It's a combination of both work culture clashing and then making worse products.
Hey, well, the dog's not
Yeah,
chasing
of
me
course.
anymore.
Like, I'm feeling like
I saw those two landmines I passed.
probably going to, like,
I was
if I
hoping
look
he'd
at,
step on
if
one.
I look at this now, it seems like it's slightly recovered after going almost under $2. So this is 5 days. It's doing a little bit better. A little bit better. All right. Yeah, there we go. Should have bought the dip. I guess so, guys. Yeah, that's not the right stock. It is the right stock. It's an indicator of the stock. We're looking at a sample size. I understand that you might be trying to be smart, but you're not. What's really going to happen is I bet probably I could see this going up continuously until the next update that they provide.
Oop.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. Is that people are going to like hope that, oh yeah, it's going to get better, and that's it. How can companies get rid of these terrible employees if they're technically doing their job, but they're just awful for the work culture? You just fire them. What do you mean? How do you get rid of these people? It's easy. You just get rid of them. Like there's not. It's not complicated. It's just, yeah, if this person is causing trouble, this person's causing problems, they're getting mad all the time, then just fucking get rid of them, right? Stop hiring them. Yeah, exactly. For like being hostile and aggressive and shit like that. Yeah, you don't need an excuse to fire somebody. I think in the UK, actually, in a lot of cases you do, which is kind of like an issue. I think it's like, it is and it isn't an issue, right? I mean, obviously there's some positives to it as well. But I do think that, like, in general, this is going to be it's going to be a bigger problem than I think people give it credit for. The things that Kamala Harris did is that a lot of the messaging for her being like a woman or a minority was done by other people and not her herself. And I think this is a point that I think that, you know, no, it's a weird Twitch thing. I think it's very respectable that she did that.
But the point that most people really care about is, can we do the job? And do you have a plan to actually focus on them?
I was proud.
Yeah, she's completely right.
So they finally learned
That
from
scared the
Hillary
crap out of me.
Clinton's failures, but that didn't stop the media or Barack Obama from doing it for her. Thanks, Obama. For all the Zoomers, thanks, Obama was a meme in like
Yeah.
2008. Just funny back then. That would have slapped. While I was writing this video, Kamala and Gretchen Whitmore were getting ready to film a video at a bar together when Kamala was apparently put on hot mic saying this.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones and listening to everything. I didn't realize that. Okay. So, you'll believe my afterwards. We just told all the family secrets. Shit.
We need to move ground with men, so what we're gonna do is
See,
pretend.
if she talked like that all the time, she probably would have had a much better chance of winning. You talk like a fake, psychotic bitch. Nobody wants to vote for the Joker.
To drink beer at a bar. Men like beer, right? Just talk about policy. Just be yourself. Just listen to men and what they want. Kamala, all you gotta do is talk. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, that might make it worse. Put Tim Walz out there, okay? Let Tim Walz do the talking. Don't dress him up as a man. You wanna know how to speak to men? Go to where they are. A good place to speak to young men is the Joe Rogan podcast.
God,
Which Kamala
yep. It's so funny that it's being discussed as to whether or not Kamala Harris not going on the Joe Rogan podcast was damaging for her career. I think that's so fucking funny. Yep.
hinted at going on, but then that never happened, and instead
Joe Rogan flipped the election. The crazy thing is that, like, there were people that were, like, interviewing guys at the, at these college campuses, and they were like, so why, who are you gonna vote for? Oh, we're gonna go with Trump. Why? Well, I watched Joe Rogan, and, he was on there, and, you know, I mean, it was pretty good. Why didn't Kamala go on there? I don't know. Probably because she lying about everything. Yeah, I mean, really, that actually was a factor. That's been a good point. She could bullshit for 45 minutes, but 2 and 3 hour shows, the real you. She only wanted to do 45 minutes. Elon Musk impacted it the most? Yeah, I think he probably did. That's probably true.
Trump went on, and that episode hit like 20 million views in a day. But like, can you blame her? Joe Rogan
Actually, how many views did it get? Okay, it's all the way down here. 46 million views just on YouTube. Man. Plus 100 million on X? Yeah. Oh my god.
It's just one of the most popular podcasts in the world with a majority young male audience.
Which, by the way, I do want to say that a impression on X is worth less than a view on YouTube. This is like a social media thing where like a view is an active engagement, whereas an impression is like just that you have seen it. So that's why I didn't want to compare those two numbers. YouTube even hit it from trending? Maybe, I don't know.
It's just one of the most popular podcasts in the world with a majority young male audience. I hate it here. Every time this topic comes up, so does the topic of like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, internet algorithms, Gamergate, whatever.
There is a massive amount of right-wing radicalization that has been occurring, especially in younger male spaces, any hobbies whatsoever, whether it's playing video games, whether it's working out.
By the way, Hassan is right about all of this.
Whether it's, I don't know, listening to like a history podcast or whatever, everything that they see is right-wing sentiment being expressed by individuals that they find charismatic.
But you can only blame internet.
So the reason why he's right might not be necessarily like what he's trying to say. I think that it's a chicken and the egg scenario where the content that's popular is right-wing because this right-wing content more accurately reflects the way that people see the world and the way that guys feel. So it's not that there's a bunch of right-wing content that's brainwashing people to be racist or to be Nazis. It's that there's a lot of guys that feel disenfranchised, and the content that's being deemed as right-wing is content that reflects what their viewpoints are. So it's like, and this is kind of the way that like content, right? No, that's really how it is. Joe Rogan isn't right-wing, it's right one. Well, I think that it's definitely true that there are a lot of young guys that are extremely attracted by right-wing content. And I think Hassan is right by identifying that. It's very clearly a trend, and I think that the election proves that trend to be true. But why is that trend happening? I think the trend is not happening because content creators are right-wing. I think the trend is happening because people are right-wing and content creators are adapting to that, or content creators that have those same viewpoints are being elevated because those viewpoints are shared with a large audience. That's what's happening. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? The trend, men have always been more conservative than women. Yeah, but it's becoming more the case. Alex Jones accepted being press secretary. Let's finish this video here.
Algorithms for so much for so long. This automatic assumption that any dissent from liberal mainstream thought could only be caused by manipulation or brainwashing from podcasters is honestly
it's a vicious cycle. And I think that the cycle begins with people that are looking for content that respects them. And when you create content that respects a person and tells them that their opinions and their beliefs that they have are not racist, evil, or bad, they're going to be like, yeah, I agree with you. And there's a lot of guys that feel disenfranchised, and I think that really, like, a lot of these like right-wing places do a much better job at appealing to them. That's really the truth.
A cope, in my opinion, and just an easy excuse for failing to reach anyone beyond your own subreddit. As if this all wasn't the result of like a stagnant neoliberal corpo.
I honestly think that the reason why there's a lot of right-wing podcasts and stuff is because there's a lot of guys that are looking for it. The popularity of the podcast is precipitated by the fact that there's a lot of people that feel this way. It's not that the podcasts are making them feel this way. It's that the podcasts are elevated by a lot of people that already do feel this way.
Hell world that created a vacuum that was just waiting to be filled with any kind of populism. The crazy thing is, the Democratic Party did have a candidate who successfully spoke to the demographic that they are currently trying so hard to reach.
Bernie?
His name was Bernie Sanders. And every time he did speak to that demographic or say he was
They were referred to as the Bernie Bros, and they were demonized. Yeah.
learned that the Democratic Party didn't do enough to speak to that demographic.
Yep.
He was called a sexist, a racist. He was backstabbed multiple times and cheated out of winning the Democratic primaries.
Twice.
His fans were called Bernie Bros and constantly berated as sexist.
Made me finally realize misogyny in America. I wonder what this girl is writing about today. Maybe nothing. She's in therapy now.
Misogynist. His campaign was too white and too male, and this apparently was a top priority to remedy in.
Yeah, we've got to fix this. Well, here's the thing. They did. How about that? They fixed the glitch.
Future campaigns. We were told he was just like Trump
Problem
and,
solved.
quote, appeal to angry white men. Well, well, who's trying to appeal to angry white men now, bitch? It's almost like Bernie's hyper-focus on working class issues.
See, this is kind of what I was saying before. I was talking about this with like video games and like woke video games about how it doesn't matter whether you think that your message in the game should be there or not. If you put a product out to market and people don't buy the product, then you go out of business. It doesn't matter whether you were right or wrong. You're out of business. You're done. Everybody's fired. The building's foreclosed. The studio gets sold. You're finished. It doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. It matters whether what you're doing is working or not working. And these people are so attached and like so captured by their ideals and their morality that, by the way, is totally distorted. But even so, they're so captured by it that they are completely unable to see anything other than the entirely very, very narrow lens of the world that they see everything through. Does it matter if you're right or left? Yeah, sure. Concording is such a good word. Yeah, exactly. Appealing to people is what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
Issues, bread and butter issues, and populism was naturally attractive to men. No football or beer required.
Right.
I miss him. And you know what? Maybe this shift with young men has less to do with who's holding the football and more of what happens when the DNC spends all their time and energy trashing the little bit of populism in their movement. And if you ask me, handing conservatives a monopoly on anti-establishment rhetoric on a silver platter was probably their first mistake. They kind of gave up on that bread and butter New Deal.
Well, you can't really say that you're the establishment when every single person that has a mainstream media television show has the same viewpoints that you do. Like every late night talk show host is doing a monologue about how Kamala Harris should win the presidency. You can't talk about how you're not the mainstream when you have all of these A-list celebrities getting together to collectively condemn people that vote for Donald Trump. Like, it's very obvious that this is the majority opinion of people that are part of the establishment. And just because there's a large contingency of people on the internet who don't represent that doesn't mean that the establishment isn't working tooth and nail to try to fight that from happening. Look at how much they tried to demonize and like demonetize and kick Joe Rogan off of Spotify. Think about how much they're trying to stop free speech.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom right quick.
Think about how much before Elon Musk bought Twitter or X, how much they did stop free speech on there, how much they tried to control things with COVID, how much they tried to control things with election misinformation. It's just so obvious. And any normal person, and this is really what the problem is, it's that every reasonable, normal, average guy can see exactly what I'm talking about. So when you tell somebody that they can't see what's in plain sight directly in front of them, they're going to hate you for it. This is the reason why, like, theocracies usually fall with religion. It's because eventually people are tired of living a lie. They're tired of living their life according to a set of principles that they don't feel like represents them and that they have to actively forego their critical thought. It's literally Orwell? Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, yes and no, right? But yeah. It's basically gaslighting? Yeah, I would say so. Actually, no. Yeah, no, it is Orwell. No, you're right. I don't know about that. No, remember how, like, the, like terrorism is peacekeeping and stuff like that? Like, all the different, like, phrases about how the, the main party, like, controlled all the vocabulary? I think that if you look at it through that, this is like with 1984. Yeah, I actually think that's a good example. Sure. The doublespeak moments? Yeah.
Stuff for identity politics, and if you deny this, you are either lying or coping. The physical manifestation of the left has gone from the vision of the blue-collar union worker to a nagging, scolding fat woman with blue hair, barging in
with a nose piercing
into everyone's spaces and culturally
coming into Warhammer and saying there's not enough women in it.
Alright, I'm back.
colonizing.
Oh.
Change this, change that. I don't
I
like
come
this,
back, I lose
don't
the
like that.
viewers.
It's
I should have
incredible
stayed in the
for me to
bathroom.
witness years of anti-male rhetoric finally come back to bite the left and Democrats in the ass.
And I think that also what's going to happen, like, I remember I saw this tweet from old Nick Fuentes.
Morning.
He goes, your body, my
Great.
choice.
Here
forever.
you go. Don't spend it all in one place.
And now, the thing is that now they won. And once somebody wins once, they're going to be like, well, wait a minute.
Well, don't just stand there.
Maybe we can do this
thumb
and
up
the other
your
thing
ass.
too.
Go
But
do
you know
the goddamn
what?
job.
What is this Project 2025 shit? Let me read this again. Because, like, yeah, now that you think, I mean, you know, like, let's actually think about this. He's not pro-Trump, Baldy. He's not pro-Trump, but as soon as Trump wins, he goes like, we did it. He spends all his time complaining about Trump, saying he's not going to vote for him. Finally, Trump wins, and he says, we did it. Uh-huh, for sure.
These chickens come home to roost has just been both incredibly depressing and deliciously vindicating to me in
Yeah.
a sick way, and I'm not sure if I should lend out a helping hand or Mufasa them off this fucking cliff. Some Democrats are nervous the party was too late to realize the problem. These Democrats worry that the party has focused too much on courting women voters, LGBTQ voters, and culturally progressive voters, alienating too many men in the process. There's a recognition that we're losing men.
Well,
and
here's the thing. It's that if you use drag queens to promote a political message, that political message is going to lose. Drag queens are not socially accepted by, like, average populations of people. Like, if you go to Walmart and you find 5 random Walmart citizens, Walmart Americans, they're probably all going to have the same reaction to a drag queen. And I think that we all know what that reaction is.
things we're doing around men haven't been working.
Walmartians,
I think
yeah.
a lot of it is a reaction to social progressivism done the wrong way, says David Hogg. Young men, he says, feel like progressives look down on them for
He's
saying
right.
the wrong thing, even when it's a mistake. That discomfort is enough to drive them away from the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
Even if
exactly. Why would somebody want to, like, it's very simple. It's like, when you're dealing with somebody who, have you guys ever been around somebody, like, this is especially true with, like, toxic girlfriends? Have you ever been around, like, a girlfriend that, like, if you say something the wrong way, it, like, immediately activates her hard mode, like, fucking, like, max difficulty, you know, attack phase? You guys ever had this happen, right? And it's like, do you understand, like, how, like, you know, you're, like, fucking, like, tiptoeing through pins and needles, like, trying to avoid accidentally triggering her or, like, getting her mad? That's exactly the reason why I think a lot of people push back against a lot of, like, quote, woke stuff. It's because they don't want to have to walk on eggshells around people all the time. They don't want to have to take their words and filter them through 5 or 10 different, oh my God, what if people think that I'm saying this about this racial group of people or about women? It's basically, there's been a massive push, and this happens on social media all the time. There's been a massive push of taking what a person says and then extrapolating it to like its worst possible implication, and then treating that person as if the implication was their intent. It's not about trying to understand the other person's perspective. It's about using that other person as a stepping stool so you can stand on top of them and say, look at me, I'm more virtuous than they are. And so I think that's been a huge reason why a lot of people have pushed back against, like, you know, what you'd call like progressive, like woke, like activist stuff. It's because if somebody calls something else gay, because they used to call it that for like 30 years as like kids, especially in like the 2000s and the 90s, that doesn't mean that they hate gay people. It doesn't mean that they're like homophobic or anything. And like, yeah, maybe it's not like a great thing to say, but when you treat a person that says that as if they're actually a homophobe or a bad person, you know what it makes them? It makes them a homophobe or a bad person. And fundamentally, people just don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what to think. They don't want to have to walk on eggshells around people that are, in a lot of cases, I think, mentally unstable. And they don't want to deal with it at all. And so it's an unfortunate colloquialism. Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, whatever term that, like, there are a lot of terms like this. Like, you could use, like, there's terms like, I didn't know tar baby was one that can be used as, like, as a derogatory term towards, like, black people. Like, growing up, like, this was, like, just a story, and, like, I used the term one time, people got really mad at me for it, and, like, for me, like, I'm involved with controversies like this all the time. So I don't really care a lot about it, but, like, I know that there are certain streamers that don't even want to have Starbucks on their screen because they're afraid that people might get mad because Starbucks is seen as being promoting and favorable towards Israel. You see what I'm saying? And so people don't want to live with, like, that level of, like, restrictive behavior. Is that based? Yeah, they are, and I think retarded is another one. Like, people that use the word retarded don't want to be told not to use that word. And I think that if you want to take a step back, people don't want to be told what words they can and can't use, period. And you see this on Twitter. As soon as Elon Musk took over, I bet the usage of the N-word went up by 1,000%. No, that's not true. Probably 10,000%. Yeah, because, or the F word. I see, oh my God, people are really trying to bring back the homophobic F word. They're trying to bring it back in a big way. I can't even read Twitter without seeing it all the time. And do you want to know why? It's because people don't want to be told what they can and can't say. They don't want to be given a list of words by some loser and be told, no, if you say this, we're going to try to systematically destroy your life. Because you know what happens? Whenever you tell that to enough people, they decide to systematically destroy your life instead. And that's exactly what happened with the election. That's exactly what happened. It's because if you try to antagonize people and tell them what to do, eventually they'll turn around and they'll start telling you what to do. Basin, I'll do it again. Yeah, and it's going to keep, this is what my opinion is. I think that we are going to move towards an overcorrection. And I think that conservative viewpoints and conservative, like, and I'm talking
that
about, like,
always
extreme
happens.
conservative
I like.
viewpoints will continue to get more and more traction as an overcorrection.
I mean,
because
you might as
people
well
are tired
predict
of, like, being
you'll
told
find a
what to
fork
do
in the
or what to
kitchen.
think.
It's.
Yeah, pendulum swings back. Yeah, and I think that people are swinging back.
That happens
and
all
the
the
thing
time.
is,
There's
what's
always
different
a
about it this
pendulum
time,
swing.
I think, is that people know it. They know it, and they're doing it because they're like, you made us live with our mind in a cage. Now it's time to put you in a cage. And by the way, Trump said on day one, a lot of people probably might be going in cages. The mass deportations. Done. That's it. And so I feel like, and people like to you know, they like to fight against this and like to say like, oh, well, this is the wrong thing to do. Well, does it really matter who's right or wrong when you're the one that's in the cage? Not anymore. That's it.
They don't necessarily agree with Republicans. They would rather be around someone they don't agree with who doesn't judge them than somebody they do agree with who judges them constantly.
He's totally fucking right about this, by the way. 100% right about this.
Men aren't moving right because they are choosing fascism. They are moving right because the left made them the villains in their anime fan fiction. It's not that they all like Trump, it's that they all hate you. And no amount of channel hats is going to fix that. But do not get it twisted. I do not
Oh, come on.
shape or form believe the GOP is going to help men. I don't think they're going to help anyone. Except maybe Israel. Do I think all of the left?
I agree with that.
Alright, there we go.
Like, you know, somebody says like, oh, well, you can't get abortions anymore. It's like, oh, fuck, well, now you have to pay child support. Like, that's the first thing I think about. The fuck? What, do you gotta get a coat hanger now? Jesus.
My God, that guy's head was hard to hit.
Fat lady wagging her finger in men's faces was no fun allowed. No. If I did, I wouldn't call myself
And
left
this
wing.
has happened a lot. Like, I've seen this happen constantly, where it's like women that are, I don't even really know if it's women. I don't want to categorize this as all as women. But I think that it's like people that are like complaining. They're like, I'm really bothered by how much people are using the word retarded. Or I'm really bothered by how much people think this joke is funny. Like, people shouldn't be joking about this. This isn't funny. You shouldn't be allowed to, like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Good morning
Shut up,
to
don't
my.
tell me what to
Well,
say.
that was fast. Nice
Just
job.
period. Whatever you're gonna say, I don't care.
You need
It
some
doesn't
work?
matter what it
Oh,
is,
thank
what
goodness.
your problem is.
I couldn't
it
find
doesn't
anyone to
matter.
do that job.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm
Yeah,
a
shut up,
registered
retard.
independent.
Yeah.
But the Democratic Party is historically better on policy, and despite their messaging, even when it comes to helping men. Healthcare, higher wages, paid family leave, labor protection, Social Security, things Republicans have always fought against. And I think that's why this is extra frustrating to me. I don't say this with any love for the Republican Party. In fact, if anything, I say it with love for the Democratic Party. I fucking hate them, but deep down, I wish they could be better. I'm doing this for your own good.
Yep. This hurts me more than it hurts you.
I just hope that whether Kamala wins or loses, the party can take a step back and evaluate what they're doing wrong. Because
They are. They're taking a step back to have a support group for each other and talk about how much they want to kill Donald Trump, how much they want to kill themselves, how much they want to kill their family members, and how much they want to kill their unborn babies.
I don't think the Democratic Party should be the party for the gays and women. I think the Democratic Party should be the party for everyone, including angry white men. So in your opinion, what could the Democratic Party do to win back young men? Can they do anything? Are they To me, it might take decades of work to fix the culture, the rot that
I don't think that they can do it. I think that they're so captured by identity politics and like the logic and philosophy of like intersectionalism that they cannot undo this. Yeah, stop identity politics. Like I feel like basically the like Donald Trump brand of like Republican politics will exist for the next 20 years. Like after Trump like finishes his term, it's not like, oh, everything's going to go back to how it was with Mitt Romney. There's going to be, like, I bet that there's probably going to be somebody who is even more, like, they're probably going to say, you thought it was good now. You thought Project 2025 was bad. Wait for Project 2028, you know?
infests the progressive ideology. It is going to take a lot of
That's
work
what's
to
gonna
fix,
happen.
but I think it's worth it, not just for the Democratic Party's sake, but just for society's sake. If you like this video, please consider donating to my Patreon, link down below.
This
It
was
really
a
helps
really
the
good
channel
video.
out, and I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for 2 million subscribers.
That's a lot of people.
And I will see you guys with a new video soon. Bye!
Yep. Yeah, it's a really good video. Give it a like. This is so good. Like, I wish there were more people that talked about this kind of stuff because I feel like there's a lot of this stuff that needs to be talked about. Such a great video. Yeah, it's just so good. 4 months ago, this video was released. Ever since then, every single day, People have asked me to watch it, and I figured, you know what? Let's cozy up, let's get comfy, and let's take a look inside Pandora's box of World of Warcraft. The following video contains subjects and footage that some viewers may find disturbing. All information contained within has been made publicly available by the people or entities discussed. Viewer discretion is advised. Those are the good days, boys. 14-inch televisions. Yeah, I had one of those.
The international addiction to an internet game represent a danger. Many that there is also no indication that anything can slow the explosive growth of the intoxicating game called World of Warcraft.
Yep. That's how you knew it was a good game. Fox News doing documentaries.
And by the way, you don't want that to do that either. You think you do,
but you don't. Yup. Dude, I love the 90s fucking intro.
You guys agree with me now? Oh, I game fields all day, every day.
Oh shit. My man, that guy's a gladiator.
Incredible 16 hours a day. His mother says his personality has changed and that he's become moody and violent. And his addiction is tearing the family apart.
Fuck yeah.
But our actions are going to matter more than any of these.
That's right. They sure did matter, didn't they?
Alright, go, bro. Let's do this.
Damn, that was some good shit. Bro, what a fucking intro. Holy shit.
The power level where...
Bro, I watched this on that monitor. At Jeff's house. Oh my god. Fuck yeah. This is so good. Holy shit. There it is. The good times, the best times.
In the world of MMORPGs, you'll scarcely find anyone who hasn't heard of, if not played, the World of Warcraft. Released in 2004, it would quickly begin to make a name for itself, garnering worldwide praise for its innovation, accessibility, and the closeness to the community by its developer, Blizzard Entertainment. Both celebrated and condemned for its addictiveness, in the span of a few short months, it would not only become the most popular of the MMORPG genre, but also set the standard for all of those that would follow in its footsteps. Many would try, and over the course of 15 years, few would gain even a fraction of the player base of the seemingly unstoppable giant. Today, though, much different.
People forget how big WoW was. Like, WoW was like, it was the game. It was the game people were talking about. It was like Fortnite in 2018 for 3 years. Probably longer than that, like 5 or 6 years. It was massive. It was the fucking game.
Different picture is painted. What was initially considered inspirational in the world of game development lies behind a controversial history marred with what many describe as betrayal, deception, and squandered potential, leaving many asking the question, how? A snapshot of history of a world created within a world, a microcosm of mayhem, a virtual playground for humanity to show each other their best and their worst. This is the story of Blizzard Entertainment and their iconic MMORPG, the World of Warcraft.
As I said, I really cannot emphasize enough how different the whole world was. Like back then, it was just so different. It was so crazy. Like this, yep, Y2K. Yep, listen to this.
At the dawn of the new millennium, the online world was growing rapidly. The intellect of man and the advancements of technology combined bestowed upon the world the creation of the Internet by Al Gore. News the new Star Wars movie was spreading. The storyboard for The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring had been completed. Nerd culture was about to reach critical mass. And Bill Clinton did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Imagine
The
that.
so entered the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG for short. The creation of the first MMO can be traced all the way back to the 70s, depending on your definition and standards, as they would be text-based, though they had existed for decades.
Bro, straight up, my mom played those text-based games in the 70s. Like, real shit, she actually played those all the way back then.
It was only near the new millennia that they would attract a sizable player base.
I actually found her notebook of all of her notes and maps that she had made. Maybe like a couple of years ago, I showed it to her. And she's like, yep, that's right. I'll have to show you guys sometime.
Although varying in implementation, they have the central idea of an online, persistent world to be shared with players from all over the globe. A genre unique in the sense that there is no planned end, no credits roll, nor thanks for playing. Game content would be added as long as there are players playing, and the journey would only end when the player decided that it was over.
It never
a concept
stops.
that was remarkably foreign to many at the time. In these early years, many would try their hand in breaking through the genre, and overall, it would contain a niche audience. Some were beginning to make a name for themselves.
Oh, wow.
Such as
I am
those
out of
who
gas.
leap into the online persistent world with Ultima Online, an isometric
Pretty
fantasy
good back
game
then. It was
memorable
really good
for
back
its
then.
PvP combat in particular. Catholic Entertainment, who would later develop Warhammer Online, took their shot with the Dark Age of Camelot, a third-person take on Arthurian lore mixed with Norse mythology and high fantasy. Star Wars would make their debut into the world of MMOs with the 2003 release, The Star Wars Galaxies, an MMO with a more heavy focus on community and sandbox gameplay.
You know what's really kind of funny about it is it's almost like it is now, where every company is trying to go towards a metaverse, but back then they actually were, and Blizzard succeeded. Blizzard was the one whose metaverse effectively won out over everybody else.
And most prolific at the time was EverQuest in 1999 by Verant Interactive, and 1999 decrowning the previously reigning champion, Ultima Online. Just 24 hours after launch, it would quickly become the most subscribed MMORPG at
I thought Ultima Online looked better personally. I like the aesthetics of Ultima Online more.
10,000 subscribers. Yeah, really. 10,000
God
was
damn.
the most subscribed MMORPG at the time. It would eventually peak
fucking gasoline
at over
anywhere.
500,000 years after its launch.
Holy
but
shit,
as
I didn't know
history has
that.
shown, this would yet be a fraction of the potential that was hidden within the genre.
How do you live way out here without a car?
Yet to be realized.
That's a lot.
The MMO was on the rise, and the time to strike was nigh, and in the background, a beat was stirring, silently observing the strengths, the weaknesses, the success.
You have to understand, like, back then, Blizzard only made the best games. Like, you might not understand that now, right? But it's so different. Like, Blizzard was the From Software of the 90s and the 2000s. Like, they brought out a game, and it's like World of Warcraft was as far ahead of its, like, other competitors as, like, Elden Ring is farther ahead of any other game. Like, it was just so far ahead, it just wasn't even... It just put every other game in the fucking dirt.
Successes and the failures of the then relatively unexplored genre. Blizzard at this point already had established themselves as innovators with their Diablo, StarCraft, and Warcraft series, the latter being a real-time strategy game set in a fantasy world of
Bro, I
orcs,
played this shit all the
elves,
time.
magic, and adventure, and having seen the
This is my
success
first
of other
game.
fantasy-based games such as EverQuest, the table was set. After halting development on an abandoned project, a small team of developers were left in
That's Metzen right there. That right there is fucking Metzen.
limbo and were searching for inspiration on their next game. They had the IP, They had the funding, and most importantly, the timing.
The boys, yeah, all the boys.
September 2nd, 2001. Long before Blizzard was big enough to hold their own convention, they held a panel at London's European Computer Trade Show, and it was then that the public for the first time saw the world of Warcraft.
Yep. It just looks so much better than all the other old games. Like, it was just so far above, like, holy shit. Look at that.
They made it clear this was not the sequel to the popular RTS series at the time, but rather something completely different. Players would transition from controlling pre-made heroes and progressing through a campaign to creating their own heroes and making their own stories. The game would be multiplayer on a...
Well, they kind of had this actually in Warcraft 3. Do you guys remember that in the Frozen? You had like that campaign for Rexar. And like Rexar was just by himself. And you would just like send him around on different missions and shit. And I remember whenever World of Warcraft came out, and I was like, well, what kind of game is this? And like Zach told me, he's like, yo, it's like, remember back like the Rexar campaign in Warcraft 3? I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, but that's like the whole game. I'm like, oh, it's so badass. Like that's what it was. Yeah, Founding of Zeratul. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, that was the that was the first foray into it that they made.
Massive skill, bringing together fans of not only the Warcraft series, but of MMOs as a whole. The reaction, however, was mixed. Some waited with eager anticipation, trying to imagine their beloved series making its leap into the massively multiplayer setting, and many were upset at the abrupt change of focus, preferring Blizzard to concentrate on what was...
I just want you guys to see this, just so you can know that there's nothing that has ever changed. Okay? It doesn't matter, like, he knew he was 20 years ahead of his time. But yeah, it's always the way this been.
On what was proven to work, instead of taking a gamble into unfettered territory. The idea of paying a monthly fee to continue playing was hard to swallow at the time.
It was, bro, like, I'm telling you.
I'm doing pretty good.
Fucking $10 a month.
Give me a sec, I'll check
like,
my average.
$10 a month is like $25 or $30 a month nowadays. Like $15, like I would get allowance.
Yeah, give me a
Like
sec.
maybe 20 or 25. I don't remember exactly what it was. And like it still is, but bro,
There's
like
a guy right on top
was,
of me. Holy crap, 120
like, that's all I'm saying.
characters.
Like it was even
people.
more. Yeah. It's like $49. It's a lot of fucking money to play the game back then. It really
80
was.
average viewers.
How do I report it, G?
I got a good stream here.
Especially by Blizzard fans, so over the one-time purchase models set standard by the company. Work would continue on the project, however, and the very first interview would be claimed by the Computer Gaming World magazine. By this time, EverQuest was the clear reigning champion, but the genre as a whole had one fatal flaw. That's the learning curve. XP losses, year losses, and even permanent character death was commonplace in nearly every game of the show.
That's right, because fuck that. I don't want to be this guy, alright? Like, I want to be able to play the game and relax, you know? Yeah, you get your shit fucked up. And, like, this is what I said before, right? Remember I was bringing up how every game was trying to be the last big game? World of Warcraft tried to be the next big game. And that's why it was so successful. Is that they did away with the shackles that the previous games gave the players.
Combined with the large time investment in playing, it cultivated a very niche and hardcore community, and the everyday casual player would quickly succumb to the intense difficulty and seek entertainment from other, more forgiving games. It was a genre with a focus on character progression, with death penalties centering around character regression and a steep learning curve to go along with it. However, this transitionary period would prove to be a key moment where players for the first time would leave single-player games that looked like this into this online sprawling world. They were incomparable to each other, and although it's funny to think now, it was an intimidating thing. The time investment was, and still is, incredibly high. You had to have...
Oh yeah, there were so many, because there were also all these news stories. Like, I remember I started playing the game in like 2006, and like my relatives were like, they were like, did you know, like, so you let him play World of Warcraft?
Well, I have a friend at work, and her son started playing World of Warcraft, and next thing she knows, he's smoking the reefer.
And my dad would be like, yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, that's my son, you know? He'd been totally fine with that, right? But just in general, he didn't give a fuck. He was like, whatever.
The computer, you had to have a good enough graphics card to run it, you had to have internet, and you had to pay a subscription. The amount of hurdles standing between the average person and the game were already high, and combined with the unforgiving it was just too much.
Yikes. Watch out for that minefield.
It was this person, this untapped market of new and casual players that Blizzard would set their sights on. World of Warcraft took a
like the same thing Final Fantasy did 10 years later.
completely different style of approach. During a time when XP loss was the bare minimum penalty for dying, World of Warcraft made you simply run back to your corpse.
One of the great things here is that when you die,
Yeah. I've been keeping it real cool in here, so he's back in the tower instead of laying on the floor.
Death a really bad thing because dying should be bad, right? Well, in World of Warcraft, pretty much all that happens is you.
It's actually like almost cold in here.
Back in a graveyard, and you run and get your corpse and you respawn. You don't lose experience points. You don't
question
lose your
tradition.
Any of that.
Forge your own
Next
path.
level took years in other games. World of Warcraft, it took months for most players. And when systems were complicated and confusing, recording external literature to understand, World of Warcraft systems were relatively straightforward. And when character stat and template choices were often permanent, World of Warcraft featured possibly but reversible methods of character progression and...
Yeah, you have to remember, 50 gold respecs back in the culture of 2004.
I think I'm coming up on desert. Yep. There's the desert. I've been looking for.
Yeah, that was an easy fucking respec because you have to remember, like, all of the games, like, basically, like, culture around, like, Dungeons and Dragons, right, was influenced primarily by Tolkien, obviously. But, like, every bit of, like, fantasy gaming for, like, a very, very long time, and, like, you could argue still now, was derivative of the original Dungeons and Dragons. That's why you have that sort of critical hits, and you see that DNA.
All right, let me outrun these bees right quick.
And like back in Dungeons and Dragons, it was harder to respec as well, especially in the earlier versions. That's my understanding.
Customization. In other games, you had areas designed for large groups of high-level players, referred to as
I should be
raids,
good.
but they were commonly out in the open world, which resulted in having to compete against one another for kill credit. Due to this, there was a greater sense of urgency to complete the raid in
81 average viewers.
in one sitting before any other guild.
This is a good stream.
Bring unwanted
Maxed out at 121 viewers.
Guilds setting up 24-hour shifts was a common strategy.
19 unique viewers.
These raids, in many cases, to the detriment of the health of the players.
I don't know what that's all about.
Fantasy 11 boss was engaged for 18 hours until players were forced to quit after they began to faint and vomit. Though this boss in particular...
Two more unique chatters.
10%. Just keep going. It's only 2 more hours.
27 live views. I don't know what that is.
You're almost there. Remember that? Yeah, that's how serious this game used to be. Like people back in the day were ridiculous.
So yeah, I'm having a good stream.
It was nuts.
Killer was nerfed shortly after the incident. This was the state of the endgame for most MMOs in these early stages. However, World of Warcraft had been one of the first MMOs to standardize instance grades. Where players and guilds could create their own unique raid instances, resetting on a weekly basis. And as for the raid bosses themselves, although today seen as archaic and simplistic, at the time they were quite advanced in a genre.
Oh, it's like you look at this thing. What is this? What is this? The triangle dragon, the Lord of Geometry? Like, what the fuck does this? What the fuck does this do? You know what I mean? Like, this is the Lord of Geometry. Like, of course not. Like, what the fuck? And so, like, whenever WoW came out and like it had instances, it sounds really cool to have these outdoor raids until you have the outdoor raids.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my better ones.
And then you realize how fucking annoying it is. That being said, we did have a lot of fun in Classic WoW doing the world bosses. It was fun. Having a little bit of it is okay. I hope they have that match situation.
Where raid bosses boil down to having a unique name with a higher health pool and...
Yeah, I think I probably only need like
often at the time.
I think 2 more streams of this size.
Teamwork and thought to
And then it's
overcome,
just
which
it's a
in
matter
turn
of waiting out the
become one of
clock.
game's major selling points.
Because basically, to get partner, hang on, let me get back to the.
Live with dynamic NPCs going about their daily lives.
Yeah,
Simply
but
put, what it didn't invent, it improved.
here's the thing I was explaining to my artist, like,
that just sat around.
this is the last 1 to 30 days. So this is May 9th to June 8th. I've got all 6 streams. I might even have more than 6 streams. But what I need is these. Oh, wow. See, it already went up 3 to 6. I need 3 more. So this is between 4. So that's April 8th and May 8th.
It was huge.
Every day this advances once, so I gotta wait for these 6 days to move down here and then finish off these 6 days. Now the thing is, I could have more than 6 days already, and all I have to do is wait for it for the 30 days. But right now, I'm right on track, so let's just say I need 3 more streams of 75, of an average of 75 or more.
Oh man, guys, I can't believe that these new games can't keep these servers.
And I will be partner. And then once I'm partner, that's when I'll start focusing on doing my YouTube channel. Or at least start doing commentary so I can do the YouTube channel. I got plans. Right now I'm focusing on making partner. I should make partner soon. Like hopefully within the next week or 2. Probably 2 weeks. That's what I'm guessing.
Back then, the developers didn't care. Like now they hire a PR person or a community manager that doesn't like to care about you. Back then, developers were like,
Damn plague spitters. I hate those things.
Oh, we'll fix it eventually. I'm gonna go to lunch. Yeah, like, anyway, fuck.
Too well.
It's
Blizzard
warm.
in no way was prepared for the frenzy of players eager to get into the world. Disconnects, lag, and rollbacks would persist heavily for the opening months, and so consistently through the next couple of years. Forums daily would be filled with outrage, demands for a refund, and even threats of lawsuits. The miraculous thing about it, though, is that it doesn't even seem to slow its growth. The launch today is looked at as disastrous, and yet still...
Nobody cares about a bad launch. Literally nobody gives a shit. They will come back and play the game later on if it's good. That's why I tell people, it's like every launch is going to be shit. Why is it going to be shit? Because it doesn't really matter. Look at this.
Well, every launch is going to be shit because nobody wants to dish out $50 for a crappy game. So they're going to wait till if they're not sure about the game, they're going to... I'll tell you what, Everwind. I wish I would have fucking waited for that game. Because that game was a disappointment, man. It looked fucking badass. It turned out to be a dud, man. That game is... It has potential, but it's just not a good game, man.
50% of the time hold such a demand. Well, it's because it was that good. It was good. Years of development had paid off as World of Warcraft quickly became a hit, almost immediately dwarfing all competition at the time.
Beat their ass.
Other player bases. It was the vampire of the MMO industry at its release, and it would suck the life force out of every single previously mentioned staple of the genre.
But there was one unfortunate thing. The unfortunate thing was it launched right when WoW launched. So WoW brought the whole industry down, not just us. Every online game out there went down as soon as WoW went out. WoW was like a huge sucker. A player went over there and drove into WoW. And it drove all our numbers.
60 levels of progression, and a world of challenges awaited the eager player base, and there would be many landmark moments just waiting to be claimed. Players rushed to the max level, and the title of the world first level 60 went to a player named Zenith, Patrol Rogue on the Stormreaver server on December 3rd, 2004, a little less than 2 weeks after release. Standards incredibly slow, but back then, a no-life nerd, as onlookers weren't shy of expressing. On January 30th, 2005, the game would see its first raid cleared with the death of Anixia, taken down by the Guild Ruined on the Proudmoore server, and many players for the first time got to see the famed epic quality items that she hoarded.
Dead. Oh my god.
Blizzard would spend the following years perfecting their craft. As their subscriber base increased, so too did their budget, and more servers would quickly be added to support the booming player base. New patches would not only release new raid tiers, but also systems, items, and much more. The subscriber base would see its biggest surge for the next decade.
It was fucking insane.
Okay, guys.
Can I scrap a car in peace?
Does anybody need?
Oh no.
One of the earliest videos to go viral in World of Warcraft was created by the guild House for Life. The guild was working on how to clear out a particularly tricky room in the upper Blackrock Spire.
I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33 repeating scores.
People still use that. They still use that.
Much a lot better than we usually do. Alright, ready, guys?
Let's do this. Oh my god, he just ran in.
Yep.
Stick it clean.
Oh Jesus, let's go, let's go.
Dude, I remember having this video on my computer.
A group member, Leroy, charged prematurely with reckless abandon, causing the death of the entire
Stick to
group.
the plan.
I can't move, my lagging guy can't move. What the hell? I can't move. Oh my god. Oh, just keep saying that. More responding. I don't
Come
think
on.
you can pass with that shit. Oh my gosh.
I can't move. It was bad.
The video was later revealed on stage, but nonetheless, caught on like wildfire. It was across their websites and forums. This was one of the first videos for World of Warcraft to gain viral popularity. Onlookers were intrigued.
Man.
Word of mouth proved to be a prolific
It sounded so scripted. No, but like what you don't understand is like back then people didn't think if something was scripted or not. Like it wasn't even in their mind. It was just like, this is a funny video. Wow, this is funny. This guy's so dumb. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't even. It wasn't even on their radar.
advertising vehicle for the game. It's hard to say today just how many people watched the video, as some of the uploads have been lost.
Millions and millions.
Warcraft movies today sits at nearly 19 million views, and the original YouTube mirror reached at least 46 million.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
And surviving games today sit at a total combined count of around 24 million.
88
Regardless,
million
it's by far the most viewed Warcraft-related video, even to this day.
Oh my
15
God.
years later. It was so popular, in fact, that it was later featured as a question in the trivia show Jeopardy! Just a few months later in November.
The role-playing game, out in 2004, returns to the world of Azeroth, where heroes like Leroy Jenkins do battle. And that would be the world of Warcraft.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
The Leroy craze wasn't the only phenomenon to spawn from the game, though. September of 2000.
It's like, I'm trying to think of like what would be the equivalent of Leroy Jenkins now. Like, what's a meme that was on the same level as Leroy Jenkins? Gangnam Style? Let me solo her? No, it's kind of like, I don't know. Harambe? Yeah, yes, I think that's a great example. Harambe, it was as prevalent as Harambe. Exactly, and isn't that scary? It was as prevalent as Harambe.
5 saw the release of the Zolgar upgrade. The final encounter was a boss named Hakar.
Oh, I know that
ability and if they were to stand too close to another, it would spread to that person. In a contained environment, it's just another raid mechanic. That is, until one player, another one, managed to create a virtual pandemic that spread across
Oh!
every single server. And had one fatal flaw.
Holy shit! That was fucking funny as hell. It was pretty awesome too.
Crowded area and spread the affliction to every nearby player and NPC. And as long as there were living hosts, there was no escape.
I love how this is exactly what happened with COVID. Like, this is exactly what happened. It's like they never really got rid of it. Like, because it wasn't like, oh, the people would just, like, they would, you know, they would stay by themselves. Nope, they just run around and, you know, it just kept happening.
Entire cities became infected
It was
by
real.
the plague. Word quickly spread, and other players intentionally started spreading the disease.
Yep, just like the people licking things in Walmart.
Mortimer. Every major capital city was a death hub and was uninhabitable by lower-level players.
Yep.
The spread would continue to go on for days until Blizzard eventually hotfixed the disease. But the resulting chaos remains to this day to be one of the most memorable moments in the game's history, and has even been used in real-world research of the spread and reaction of contagious diseases.
Yeah, it's real easy to be an asshole behind a keyboard and get away with it. Shows just how well shit clings to the asshole. Example, Achira and his band of dingleberries. You are added to the to-be camped list. Congratulations, you have stooped lower than any other guild in MMO history. That silly fool has no idea what is to come.
Morning. Well, now you can strut sitting down. Good job.
Though there are many memorable landmark moments in the game's history, some are more controversial than others.
There
in
sure were.
2006, on the Illidan server, a player by the name of Phajin passed away suddenly from
I've
a
got a
stroke.
little coin.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than a sharp stick in the eye.
Fishing, her guild had decided to host an in-game funeral service to pay one final tribute to her. There were two problems though. It was publicly advertised on the Rent forums,
And it was on a
and
PvP
Illidan
server.
was a PvP server,
Yep.
so players of the opposite faction could freely attack one another. A guild, Serenity Now, saw this then and felt that they would join in with tribute, but in very different having cut through a nearby tunnel leading into the zone. Prepared to crash the funeral. The players lined up to pay tribute to their friend. The raid quickly closed down on the location, and to make matters worse, to roleplay, many of the players had unequipped their armor and weapons, leaving them defenseless against the surprise onslaught.
Remember the fucking video where, like, as soon as that happened, they started playing the Scatman?
Well, slap my toolbox and call me a mechanic.
Like, whenever they opened, I
Oh,
heard
you're
it in my
fucking
mind,
kidding me.
You know?
Cheaper doesn't always mean better.
The funeral was quickly and easily dispatched. Serenity
I
Now
bet it
had become
was.
infamous on their server, and the crash still stands today as one of the most controversial in-game events in its entire history.
It sure
All
was.
of these moments serve a crucial role in the telling of the history of the game, and they would serve as a reminder of the reasons why it became such a success. It's due not only to its own merits, but perhaps even more drastically by the community that the world of Azeroth was comprised of.
Yeah, absolutely.
This world, however, was about to change.
How many of you have played World of Warcraft?
There he is, Mike Moorman.
Due to the success of World of Warcraft, Blizzard for the first time held their own event, a convention centered solely around Blizzard games.
Holy shit.
BlizzCon. This was, and remains to be, a unique aspect of the developer to hold a personal
Maybe not remain.
also powering a massive community that they built. The strong focus focus on the community would be something that Blizzard would become known for, and it created a loyalty source from the players.
It was, like, there were people that, like, for example, whenever Diablo 3 came out, everybody that played WoW, a lot of my friends, we all just went over and played Diablo 3 Blizzard game, right? Whenever Overwatch came out, we all just went over and we played Overwatch. Why are they Blizzard game? Of course,
Fuck are these guys coming from?
And, like, you have to think about how fucking ridiculous it was. The company was so popular and so well liked that they could have said, this is like also we have, like, you know, we have, but back then, this company was so popular, so big, that people would travel all around the world and all around the country to come together.
Fuck are these bees at?
It was nuts, man. QuakeCon, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, ExileCon, yeah. There's a lot of them. BlizzCon was one of the original.
But like, there was more than a game. It was a community of people that combined love and passion for the world that they created.
You guys take care of us, man. You guys really.
Warcraft. And friends in person for the first time, and BlizzCon as a whole is a crucial part of the very October 2005, a bombshell announcement was unveiled. The World of Warcraft is about to get bigger with the release of its first expansion, the Burning Crusade.
That shit was crazy. It's like, you have to imagine, like, how fucking, like, how much you must have felt like you were just, like, you were there, you were in it, right? Like, this game is, like, the biggest pop culture phenomenon of, like,
Are you fucking kidding me? Where are these zombies coming from?
so huge. And then, like, when you go to fucking the convention, and then, like, fucking Burning Crusade gets announced. And it's don't stop, you can't stop winning, you know?
Oh, these fucking bees! And I got no stamina! Jesus Christ!
The expansion boasted what players had come to expect from the World of Warcraft and more. They would step into the world of the Outland and progress through 10 more levels, new zones, talents, dungeons, spells, raids, races, profession, a new PvP system, and much more. And improve, and just and there's a lot of game left to conquer before players begin working into the outlands. They were building to kill, and the key to acquire.
DKP, Dragon
All
King.
groups got left, even groups, right, means 1, 3, 5, 7, left, 2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh god.
In the game, we had casual, and there were some who could beyond.
No reason to lose mate taking an emblem.
Ah, damn!
I can fucking do it. Everyone can do it. Do it right. This is bullshit.
Videos of more.
He's not wrong. You understand? They're wiping on Magmadar. Like, he's actually right. Like, yeah, what do you mean, like, you can't do it? It's Magmadar. Get up and figure it out.
Serious or angry nature
Get out of the fire, idiot.
up at this point. Those are raid leaders chewing out members for failing and properly performing the mechanics of a boss fight.
Yep.
Well, left side, even side, many wells.
Prolific of which.
Jesus Christ!
What? Fuck. Oh my god, man, it was just so good. By the way, these people weren't like, this wasn't like a put on. Like, they did this for free. Like, this was actually how they acted. This is actually how they talk and everything.
dives, the raid leader of the guild, White Club. Onyxia, at this point, had been slain by numerous guilds, and after some unsuccessful attempts, one of the members decided to record what would later become one of the biggest meltdowns in history, the Onyxia wipe animation.
You have to think that, like, that meme is still used. Like, people still use 50 DKP minus, and, like, that has become a gaming meme in general. An internet meme, period. It is a timeless meme.
What the fuck was that shit?
Much like Leroy, the animation would quickly become popular.
Yep.
It highlighted the frustrating side of
There are
coordinating
people that
40
use that,
people
don't even know what it
doing
means.
the challenging raids.
Don't play like you're just fucking going through the motions. You'll get your goddamn loot eventually. Oh, damn it!
Yep. With like the little circular platform that you buy in Circuit City for $19.99. Knock that shit over right there. Yep. I have one. Yep. I have a headset. So I was good.
Well, we're all gonna get it fast because we have no warlock.
These videos are much less flattering light, as many people would become so obsessed that they would shirk real-life responsibilities and fall out of contact with friends, quit work or school, and in the most extreme cases cause harm to themselves or others. In Korea of June of 2005, the 4-month-old child of a couple would suffocate when left unsupervised for several hours as the parents were playing World of Warcraft in an internet.
See, like, I hate whenever these articles like this comes out, like it's actually the game's fault. Like, this is the game's fault that this happened.
No, these people would have ignored their kid watching SpongeBob.
It's so disingenuous.
As the parents were playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
The phrase World of Warcraft was coined, shedding light on the dark side of video game addiction, particularly that of MMOs, and the consequences of obsession. Something that the media was not shy of reporting, as World of Warcraft, due to its popularity, would find itself at the
An incredible 16 hours a day. Mother says his personality has changed and that he's become moody and violent.
Bro, like, imagine playing 16 hours a day, you don't even have T1. Bro, like, I mean, for real, like, how do you not have T1 at 16 hours a day? Like, Jesus, man, like, you gotta up your numbers up, man. Like, what are you doing?
His addiction is tearing the family apart.
To many, it was more than a game. It was a virtual life with a graphical interface. It attracted people from all walks of life and blended them together in the chaos of this online world. News of the Burning Crusade remained to be scarce, as it was still under NDA in the Friends and Family Alpha. A blog post teasing new features would be shared scarcely, but otherwise, it was still largely a mystery outside of what was shared at the 2005 BlizzCon. The excitement was palpable.
This was the original
players
Dark
from
Portal.
all over the world.
That's what it used to look
get
like
into the Outland.
before the
beta test for the expansion
Burning
started
Crusade.
not too long after, as players got to discover and explore its features. And shortly after, World of Warcraft would become the focus of the cartoon series South Park, with their Make Love Not Warcraft episode.
I remember I watched this episode with my dad at his house whenever it came out. We watched it on television. Because we would watch South Park every time it would come out, right? And so we just watched this one. Yeah, I remember this so well. It was so fucking good. I remember I put a link to this on my MySpace page back whenever it came out.
The episode detailed the boys' fight against a hacker antagonist.
It's a good time.
And their struggle with video game addiction.
Oh, that's a big boy, isn't he?
So on release, it was an instant success. Many years later, series co-creator Trey Parker detailed his worries with the episode, revealing that he even tried to get it pulled as he feared that it simply wasn't funny. But
and it was the best one of all time. It got voted best one of all time. And also, I remember what I loved about it the most is that all of the everything that they were using in the game,
were actually like real items. It wasn't just like some bullshit. They actually used real items. Besides Sword of a Thousand Crew, hungry and cold. Besides that, it was all the actual items.
As history has shown, the episode would become an instant success, and despite the fact that the series at this point now has over 300 episodes, it remains to be one of their most popular to this day.
Yep.
Looks like you're about to get pwned.
Remember Pwned? Perfectly Owned? Holy shit, man. That's some fucking 2004 energy. Oh my god. Yep.
January 16th,
crying out loud.
The new era. The official end of vanilla World of Warcraft. People lined up outside of stores and tents in the freezing cold. Launch parties were held, and the community was stronger than ever and pulled together with their one shared trait: their fear of women. Their
Both. Yes, exactly. No, it was that was what it was. Like, I remember my mom and I, we went there at the midnight release from Burning Crusade because we pre-ordered the game. So back then, pre-ordering a game, the reason why you would pre-order was so the like GameStop or EB Games or Best Buy or wherever you were getting it from knew how many copies to stock. Because, you know, they'd have, like, it was basically like you could go there whenever the game was out and you could be, like, guaranteed that you would get your game if you had a pre-order. So my mom and I, we pre-ordered the game, and I remember we waited, it was at fucking Steak and Shake, and we waited there, and, like, we drove by the fucking, what was it, the GameStop. And then we were just talking about, wow, we were talking about going to the Dark Portal because you were both 60 by then, right? And then we look over and it's like 11:45 and there's like a million people there. And so we rush over and I got my copy of Burning Crusade with my mom the night of BC release, man. And it was the same day that I don't have it up right now because I think it's in the wash. It's the night that I got her to buy me that shirt, the Burning Crusade shirt, though. Yeah. I was like, you know what, can you buy me that shirt too? She's like, yeah.
Fuck her.
I wake up the next day, I swear to God, it was a snow day. I swear to fucking God, the next day was a snow day. I stayed home playing all day.
Of course, there's all these frickin' plague spitters.
Yep.
And this goddamn bird.
Everyone's reporting a loss and holding on to the lion's share of the market. In the background, third competition, however. Mythic who developed the Dark Age of Camelot sought to compete against Blizzard with an MMORPG adaptation of the renowned Warhammer series. Due to its similar fantasy setting, holding orcs, magic, elves, and wizards, many thought it to be the direct competitor to
After that job was as hard as putting socks on a rooster. Great work.
Killers during the time. Another such game was The Age of Conan,
Step right up and
Boring
see what tickles
Adventures,
your piss.
developed by Funcom, who is mostly known in the MMO community for Anarchy Online in 2001. Its selling points would be impeccable graphics at the time, and a new
If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
and a visceral world, featuring the fatality mechanic, where players could execute each other in brutal fashion, often described as the Mortal Kombat of MMORPGs. And The Lord of the Rings Online by Turbine was also in development, an MMO of one of the most celebrated franchises in nerd culture history, certainly posed as a serious threat to Blizzard at the time. Though these contenders would be far off from release, the competition was beginning to get fierce.
Well, it really wasn't, because all of these games weren't very good. Like, WoW just played so much better than these other games. Like, it just really wasn't even a competition. It was so far ahead.
To stave them off, the Burning Crusade had to be as exceptional as its predecessor. Months and months of doomsaying was put to the test. Warcraft? Of course, the answer is no. The expansion was a major success. Subscription-based rose even more rapidly. Players explored the dangerous reaches of the Outland. The classes evolved, and the gap between them was lessened, while still retaining the features that made them special. The raids were more challenging, the bosses more complex, and nothing more potential to the everyone subscribers.
Burning Crusade was basically just a better. Like, there were some things that Vanilla was better with. Like, I think world building in Vanilla was better, and there were some other advantages of Vanilla WoW. But Burning Crusade, for pretty much all in-game activities, was just an improvement on the game.
And the raiding scene itself, what they had encountered in the base game, with many lists today naming a plethora of Burning Crusade bosses
One of the best bosses
as the
of all
hardest in
time.
the game's history,
Yep.
even over 14 years later, with some of them being 99% of the player base until Blizzard intervened themselves to make them easier.
And
The
even then,
expansion
it was
today
still hard.
is remembered for having an extensive to the raids,
The
called
attunements,
Attunement,
yep.
a large series of story-based quests served as an
We did
alternate
these.
form of character progression, and players would rarely find themselves with nothing to do. The PvP system is more competitive with the new arena mode, where players create custom teams and battle in small-scale matches. Feature competitive events in Blizzard's attempt to gain a foothold into the growing esports scene. The Alliance, for the first time, gets to experience a new class to them, the Shamans, and for the Horde, the Paladins, both with 2 new races added to the game.
The fucking goddamn stamina!
5-man dungeons rose back to the forefront with the advent of the more challenging heroic difficulty. The expansion was packed with features and upgrades in its design,
It
and
was
stands as one of
insane.
Blizzard's most critically acclaimed releases even to this day. The Lord of the Rings also saw its release in 2007 to serve as competition for World of Warcraft, and although receiving favorable...
Such dog shit. Like, I mean, really, it was just such absolute fucking dog shit compared to
Oh my
WoW.
god,
Like,
what the
I'm
fuck
sorry,
is with
but,
the
like,
stamina?
WoW was just so far above it in terms of like combat and playability. It was just not even remotely close. Like, it was just, yeah.
Let me
I don't
in the
ever feel
goddamn
like
house.
It looked just, the thing is, like, every other game looked like it came from 1999. That's just the way I feel. Like, yeah, it looked like it came from 1999. And like, WoW, like, really looked like next gen at the time.
Selling under 200,000 copies in the first month of the release, and dwindling shortly thereafter. They run today, supported by a niche community, and is hovering around 40,000 active players at the time of this video.
Better than New
The
World.
Burning Crusade pressed on, undaunted, and in the following BlizzCon in August, the next expansion, The Wrath of the Lich King, was announced.
So he missed something here. Wrath of the Lich King was not announced, it was leaked. And the guy, whenever he
That ain't good.
announced Wrath of the Lich King, said, for anybody who already knows what this is, your account is getting banned. Like, they straight up made a joke about it. And then
Players were teased of the land of Northrend, where they had once visited in the events of Warcraft 3.
well, you have to remember, like, in Warcraft 3, the end of Warcraft 3 was, like, Arthas beating Illidan. So, like, in the context of WoW, we just beat Illidan. Well, the next guy is the Lich King, right? Like, that's the next thing. It's documented. The Lich King was like the
Ah, get in the door!
Like, yeah, you had things like Sargeras, Deathwing, like Deathwing's in Warcraft 2, but like, really, it was fucking the Lich King, right? And like, so whenever this shit happened, it was like, holy fuck, it's like, we really out here, boys. This is it.
Here, where they would face off against Arthas Menethil as the Lich King.
Yeah.
10 more levels, a new class, the Death Knight, new zones, and siege vehicle combat were just a few of the many new features teased at the convention, and due to the success of the Burning Crusade, there was little question if it would be just as good. 2008 came, and on the 1-year anniversary of the release of the Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft hit a landmark 10 million subscribers.
The goddamn plague spitters piss me off, dude.
One of these things would get announced because Wizard would
The
announce
developer
these
that came
after
up with them
the
is obsessed with them. There's just
Like,
far too many of
everybody
them.
in general chat would be like, bro, there's 10 million people playing the game now. There's 9 million people playing the game now. Like, it was crazy. Like, the excitement for it and everything about that was just huge. Like, you really felt like you were, like, part of it. Like, you were really moving something. It was happening right then and right there. And also, like, another thing that, like, Mad Season's not really talking about is the fact that like at the same time in like Vanilla WoW, BC, like Wrath, like in the middle of those right there, that's whenever like internet personalities first started coming into play, right? You had people like Athene, you had people like Swifty, and these are like the original dawns of making YouTube like online content. Like yeah, you had it was like a Hobbs, like, and you had a few other people too. Like, and these guys were just like absolute fucking legends, man. Like everybody was talking about them, everybody was singing about them. Yeah, Kungen, like yeah, you got a few more too. It was massive. And like what's so crazy is like literally Swifty is still streaming to this day. And he's still successful too. It's fucking incredible, man.
Absolutely dwarfing any and all competition. The
Yeah.
up-and-coming contender, the Age of Conan, was released in May of 2008 and received generally positive reviews.
I'm gonna die out here just because I can't.
By the end of its release.
There's no place to find any honey.
The game had failed to retain this impressive surge of subscribers. Although reviewers worldwide have praised the game, player base as being unfinished and rushed, subscriptions quickly declined, and just one month
Are you fucking serious? I just, oh my god, can I just check this ambulance?
Falling short of being the wall killer.
It didn't play the way WoW did. Oh, here we go. Here,
In July, in a bombshell announcement
Oh my
of
God.
the game's popularity, the power of the dark side could be resisted no longer, as Blizzard's parent company, Vivendi, announced a merger with Activision, already having gained a reputation for excessive monetization and driving franchises and developers to an early grave. Many were dismayed at the news, fearing that the same would become true for their beloved franchises, including the World of Warcraft. Along with EA, they would gain the reputation of exploiting the player base to the fullest extent, and
some things never change.
Spearheads today one of the largest focused, half-fast, and pay-to-win.
Get this fucking bird off of me.
1 year later, in September of 2009, Activision Blizzard would release the paid Faction Change service, and 1 month after that, the paid Race Change service, along with in-game collectible pets.
I'm so glad that, like, Mad Season actually puts this into perspective. Because this shit happened right after this fucking merger, man. And nobody seemed to realize this. Yeah, it happened right then.
These services were seen by many as an affront on the integrity of the game, and although not terribly impactful by themselves, it was believed that they would serve as a gateway for more damaging paid services.
That's what I said.
In September of 2008, the release date for the Wrath of the Lich King expansion became set in stone for November.
Nobody wanted to listen.
Just
Good birds never learn.
2006, the clock began ticking for players to finish their activities in the Burning Crusade before the content was made to be irrelevant, and due to the difficulty.
Let me guess, a plague spitter?
They had their hands full. There was quite a long drought between the final patch of the Burning Crusade and the launch of Wrath, nearly 8 months. But players didn't seem to mind.
Nobody gave a fuck because there was always more content to do. There were so many, like, you had to do, like, fucking Kara, Gruul, you didn't really have to do Mag, you didn't really have to do Gruul either, really. Like, SSC, Tempest Keep, Hyjal, fucking,
Come on.
So, like, most people always had something to do next in terms of their raids and everything, no catch-up. Well, they had catch-up, but it wasn't all-encompassing. So, like, for example, like, the badge vendor would have 3 or 4 items that were Sunwell, trash level quality or, like, Black Temple level quality. But, like, that's all you could get. So you couldn't get a full set of gear, you just got 3 items. Like, I mean, you got, like, an axe, you got, like, a ring, and, like, a chest. That's it. ZA was catch-up? Yeah, but ZA was still, like, you would do Zulaman, and you would still want to do SSC and TK as well.
Hopefully there's enough gas to get out of the fucking desert. Holy crap.
That the expansion had to offer. Those who thought otherwise, though, sought to fill in this void with the release
Oh, these fucking birds.
Warhammer Online, which saw its release in September, but wasn't enough to succeed for the Lord of the Rings Online, and Age of Conan failed.
Knowing game is true.
The game saw similar numbers to the Age of Conan, selling 1.2 million copies at launch, and starting off with a solid subscriber base of 800,000 players. But similar to Funcom's debacle, it simply wasn't ready. Performance issues
I
over.
think also, like, for the scope of what 40K is, game could do it. Like,
Come on, any more birds?
Like, you'd have to have
Come on!
No Man's Sky.
So obsessed with the birds all of a sudden.
Plus, Elden Ring. Like, plus, like, it's just like the scope of it. Warhammer, yeah, but like, I guess, yeah, Warhammer's, yeah, it's different, sure. But like, I feel like a 40K universe would be fucking amazing. I would, if a massive publisher said they're making a Warhammer 40K MMO, I would be so excited. But I feel like it's so hard to do. Like, imagine having a fucking spaceship, you can like land on planets and then go to war with them. It'd be so cool.
What could have been a great experience, and players that have grown accustomed to World of Warcraft's finely tuned and polished combat system immediately noticed the lack of fluidity with its gameplay. Additionally, the game would suffer from major scandals, such as erroneously charging subscribers for years of game time in a single day, with some racking up charges and overdraft fees into the thousands. Similar to the Age of Conan, Warhammer failed to retain this early surge of players, and servers were shut down, and the subscriber base dropped even lower than that of their 2001 MMO, The Dark Age of Camelot. The game officially shut down in 2013, but many deemed it to be truly dead just 1 year after its release.
Because WoW was so good, why would you play anything else besides that? And also at that point, people were so invested in WoW. Why are they going to stop playing WoW whenever they're already invested into that game? Right? Why would they do that? They've already made a character in WoW. They've got a guild. They've got all their friends. It's like there can only be one MMO. Yeah, all their friends play WoW. Like, yeah.
Shortly after, the Wrath of the Lich King expansion saw its release, and Blizzard would once more break sales records. Players charged into Northrend with new zones to explore, dungeons and raids to conquer, and a new class to discover. The Death Knight was what everyone expected and more. A lot more. Way too much, in fact, as many saw them to be far too powerful on release. They would later...
They're not far too powerful. They were fucking broken. They were fucking broken. So Death Knights had an ability that would turn them into they would die, whenever they would die, they would turn into a ghoul. And then the ghoul could blow itself up. And if the explosion that the ghoul used to kill itself killed you, it would win the arena match. It was just such, like, Death and Decay would automatically horrify your character over and over and over as long as you were inside of it. It was so bad. Oh my god.
Between them and upcoming patches, replayability was amplified as the achievement system was implemented, and players could collect points, titles, mounts, and more through this new feature.
I did those. I did a lot of those.
It would receive positive reviews of its many new features and improvements, and the subscriptions continued their upward trend, eventually peaking at 12 million. Just as with the Burning Crusade, it seemed to be unstoppable, though it would be where the first sign of weakness showed. Through the numbers that have been made public, there wasn't a single moment where Wrath had lost subscriptions between reports, but it was also the first expansion where they had stopped gaining subscribers, as they hovered around 11 to 12 million throughout the course of the expansion, and as shown, it wasn't due to any of these would-be WoW killers. In August of the same year, the rating scene expanded.
I think you also, another reason why WoW kind of, like, this is just what's going to happen, right, is like, you hit what's called market saturation, where everybody that's going to play this game has already either played it, is playing it, or has chosen not to play it. And that's it, right? And there's also there's like a certain level of, it's $15 a month, I'm not going to play it, because there's still a lot of people. I remember Austin, like, he's the guy that, you know, met his girlfriend, and wow, he didn't want to play it until like the end of Wrath, because it was $15 a month. That's a lot of fucking money. Yeah, it was a huge thing.
The big role was the third raid tier for the expansion.
This was such
Trial
a
of the
cock-ass.
Crusader would release with the heroic difficulty setting.
Yep.
Previously, if players saw an extra challenge with the encounters, they could impose boss-specific hurdles or restrictions on themselves for bonus loot, achievements, and bragging rights. Players would now instead toggle this optional difficulty setting before entering the raid, and every boss within would deal more damage, take more damage, and gain extra mechanics in exchange for better quality loot.
Yeah.
This, along with Mythic raiding mode to be introduced later, would become a landmark change in the core design of the game, and to increase accessibility by greatly lowering the base normal difficulty and funneling those seeking a greater challenge into this optional difficulty setting.
I remember we one-shot some of the bosses in TOC. Like, they were so fucking easy that, like, we just brought in 25 Dumbos, and I was like, so yeah, it says on ThoughtBot that we have to hit the, we have to, oh, no, never mind. Okay, yeah, all right, forget it. So we have to have everybody, wait a minute. Oh, okay, all right, let's just give it a pull. Let's just give it a pull, see what happens. Oh, it's dead? Okay, cool. See you next week, guys. That was it, man.
This change in design would later be accelerated in the next expansion, the Cataclysm, which would be unveiled in BlizzCon 2009.
This is a big fucking thing. This was huge.
For Christ's sake.
The world of Azeroth
So
was
good,
about
bro.
to change for good, as the entire old world was deemed to be outdated by 2009 standards. This expansion's villain, Deathwing, would ravage the Eastern Kingdoms in Kalimdor, reshaping them visually and mechanically by reworking each quest. Players would be able to
And to be honest, like, the new quests that they had added into the game were massively better than the old quests. Like, as somebody who did all of the new quests and somebody who did all of the old quests, the new ones were way better. They were way more, like, fucking concerted in the area. They were way more connected. They were better designed. They were more annoying. Just simply an improvement. I know there are people that think back and are like, oh, but I like this quest. Yeah, sure, you can still like the quest, but you have to admit the new ones just played a lot better.
explore all of these changes from the comfort of their flying mounts, which were now enabled in the old world.
The new zones
Two
were,
new races,
like, this
the
looked
Worgen
so
for the
good back
Alliance
then.
and the Goblin for the Horde, would also make their debut, as well as a reworked talent system. The game was to go over its biggest makeover to date, and whether it was for the better or worse was yet to be seen. December marked the month of another hallmark feature being added to the game, the dungeon fight.
This is whenever things began to get a little bit turbulent. This was right here. It's the dungeon finder. Oh my fucking god.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Not really, like, I think they should have changed
The fucking bees!
and everything. They should have done it until they were ready to do that. But I actually thought Cataclysm was really cool. I liked Cataclysm a lot.
Finder. No longer do players have to travel the world to run to their favorite dungeons, as this tool matchmakes them together and teleported the party directly to the entrance.
Yep.
At the time, this feature was received with overwhelmingly positive feedback and a welcome quality of life improvement. Though restricted to players only on their server at the time of its launch, it would later be opened up to other servers, which had the unintended side effect of alienating the community from each other.
Yeah.
Previously, having to manually form groups had served as a critical...
Wait. Bro. That's Jimmy and DJ Penguin. Holy fuck. DJ Penguin is in my he's in my Lost Ark guild. Like, he was in my classic WoW guild. Actually, I think, wasn't he in Crusade? I don't remember. And Jimmy, bro, like, Jimmy and I played, he's like a big YouTuber now. Like, dude, we played
PUBG together, like, all the time back in the day. Like, he still comes into my chat regularly. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Come on.
Groups had served as a critical and natural way for players to meet one another and make friends, and they would soon learn the downsides of automating the process by handling the formation of the group automatically.
God damn.
Interaction was replaced with convenience, and the
I'm gonna log out for a bit.
MMO gameplay suffered as a result.
I will be back on later.
This negative impact